You're going to be taking swingers out of your fat asses all night long because you got fat asses. The only chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, you could run lickety split. But you can't run because you're fat asses. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal-looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the games of line. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the arm of him all night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know I love you. I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal, I'm the man.
Booking a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl? Super Saturday? What is it? I don't even know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning. Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good intro.
I hate God!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love your steps,
Today, I've got the style and profile like never before. You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
Okay, baby. I'm so fine. I'm so fine. I know where it's at. One time. I just do it one time. Do not have to stand here, be criticized, ridiculized, or ridiculed. I know where it's all at. I can do it just in one time where Elton John, Elvis Presley, Rodney Eastgaven, and Bo Diddley cannot do what I can do. I'm a bitch on Bo Barons, brother. I'm a motherfucker on wheels. Woo, look out.
Yeah. I miss Captain Lou. I really do. I actually miss Lou Albano. What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night. It is the Dirt Sheet Dudes. I hope you're all doing well. Chat room, thanks for joining us. And I am Boxman, joined along with Mark Wahlberg. How's it going, sir?
What's going on, everybody?
Oh, been a crazy week for me. Starting Monday morning.
I heard.
Yeah. I quit my job Monday morning. I just can't take this anymore. I'm sick of my Sundays being ruined because I have to go to this place. I'll be honest with you. Like literally every Sunday, I felt like I had. That's kind of why I stopped doing the Hollywood Hangout. I felt like I had one day off, Saturday, and then Sunday was like, I got to do this again. So, on top of a bunch of other problems that were happening, lead times, not getting stuff, just clashing with the owner, it was easier to do. So I know I've been hinting at my job has been very miserable, but I've been extremely miserable at my job. I know it's probably come over to the show a little bit, and I apologize for that. But I've been going through, for the past 11 months, that's how long I've been there. I've been waiting to get out, and I thought it was the right time. So quit my job Monday morning, had an interview Tuesday, and going to see what's going on with that. Going to see what's going on. Otherwise, right now I'm just going to stay working for myself, and I was working for myself Tuesday, today, and knocking shit out. I took Wednesday off. I kind of came home and took a nap. I think I fell asleep because all the stress had come off my fucking shoulders. But yeah. So again,
now
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt here, but I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kind of, since this is an audio medium, let's set the scene for everybody. When you decided that after months and months and months of, because I've heard you talk about this for quite a while, of having to put up with just such unnecessary bullshit, micromanaging, it was finally time for that moment that you had pictured that you've been waiting for, just kind of plotting out in your mind. Did it go anything like this?
Fuck you.
No.
You cool. Fuck you, I'm out.
It was obligatory. I had to.
Not exactly. You should have said it to me. It would have come through better.
Yeah, well.
Actually, you did send it to me. But and it's funny because Friday night, me and you were talking after the show and played a little bit of Take This Job and Shove It. Thought about coming into that song. Truthfully, I didn't want to start a confrontation. I was trying to get him to let me out of my non-compete. Honestly, I don't know if he's going to or not. I didn't seem like he was, so I had nothing to lose. So I left, and I know, and I know Anthony's heard me complain about this job for a while too. Both of you guys have, and it was time. It was just time. So I am part of the kind of unemployed, kind of working for myself thing. But yeah, so that happened Monday. Been an interesting couple days. But said bye to one. I really only said bye to one person there, and I texted a couple people last night and just sort of thanked them for all their help throughout the way. And I don't know, man. I tried to do it right. I tried to do it with class and respect. It doesn't always come off that way, but hopefully it did. And that's it. I know I've been really quiet about it and hinting, so there you go. Don't you worry about it, Antox. We're going to get to La Dinner Debonair very soon. But before that, let's go ahead and find a song here, and we'll knock these plugs out real quick. Let's do a little Gangrel. It's fucking Halloween, man.
Woo, 10 days left.
There you go. My kids are excited. The neighborhood across the street is doing it as they do every year. So little one night of normality for these kids might not hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm grateful they're doing it. I'm really, 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 really happy they decided to go ahead and do it because they were talking about not, and then they're like, you know what? We're going to do it. So nice little rich neighborhood over there. They really, they do it up for Halloween. It's right across the street. Mm-hmm. Right across the street from my son's school, which is right across the street from us.
I gotta say, if anything, I am relieved, and I don't blame you if you make this like a part of it, but the fact that you don't make it the only part, that you're not one of these people that does the fucking trunk or treating stuff. Like this year, whatever, if that's what you do, that's what you do. No big deal. But like the last couple years, it's been a thing for quite a while now. And it just always seems so fucking corny. Like it's one thing if you make it part of your stop because that's just like a small amount of effort for a decent amount of candy, and then you go hit up everybody else. But if that's the only thing you do, that's just lame. Yeah,
we usually make it a part. We go. Usually the cops, the Carrollton police have a thing, and the kids love going. They let them sit in the cars. They turn on the lights. They really interact with the kids. So it's a really good thing. I think they do. And we've gone there the past 3 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, we've gone there. I don't think they're having it this year. It would be next week if they did. So I don't know. I'll take a look. I doubt they will, but
that's cool.
But we'll
see. I got
see.
a thing around here where not too far from where I'm at, it's like a plant for the Mars Candy Company. So you go over to like Cleveland, Tennessee is where it's at, and they give you basically just stand in line for about half hour or so, 45 minutes depending on when you get there, and they give you like kid, adult, whatever. They give you this big ass bag of candy, and it's got a bunch of like just like the fun sized M&Ms, and then they'll give you like a full bag or like one of those like big ones that you get at the store of like just whatever, just a random M&M flavor. So you get like the pretzels or the caramel or just whatever, depending on the bag. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have one house across there that gives away full size fucking Snickers.
That's the best.
That's usually my dinner as I'm walking around. Give me that, kid.
There you go.
You don't need nothing.
You got a full rank. I don't blame you.
This will give you a stomach ache.
Shit, that's the one that's got razor blades. Don't touch that one.
Yes, yes. This one's definitely poison. I'll take care of it for you. I'm immune.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's go ahead and knock these plugs out real quick. I want to start out with the high marks. That is Cheeseman. That is Mojo. That is G-Wiz. You want to be checking those guys out Sunday nights on Mixler. That's right here. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. There's 2 T's. That was not a stutter. Metal Mitt Network. Want to check those guys out on Mixler. And of course, to Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades. Definitely want to check those guys out. Knocking out show after show after show after show. And Bobby Anthem, still great to see you popping up in the chat room, man. It's much appreciated. And of course, the Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. Definitely want to check out those guys on all the usual podcast platforms. And of course, Blog Talk Radio. I will be on there Sunday night once again talking cartoons. That's right. I will be the king of cartoons. Anyway, my kid was watching Pee-wee's Playhouse in the car. Anyway, and of course, Stephen Milan for sharing the show. It is much appreciated, whether you know it or not. It is. Check him out on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan. There's 2 L's in Milan, and he's got over 7,000 films reviewed over there. Holy shit, man. Whew, that's a lot of films to review. Speaking of reviews, you can review, you can rate, you can subscribe to us also. Follow us on Spreaker, find us on Stitcher, iHeart, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM, and don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube. And go ahead, Smart.
Absolutely. Well, first off, Cheese on Sports, Mondays, 8:30 on the Metal Mint Podcast Network. Usually comes in and stops by, so give him a little extra love. But, of course, do not forget to check out our friends at the Planet Rack on Tour podcast. There's a Planet Rack on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem. As you said, we're thankful that he has joined us tonight with Papa Dave Sincere and with Yuck Nasty. Yesterday, I was going to say last night, but I don't know the exact time, but yesterday, the Halloween special dropped right in time, so go ahead and check that shit out. It's some of the most spine-tingling stories that you will hear. So go ahead, wherever you get your podcast, go and check them out, motherfuckers.
There you go. Like to hear that one. All right. And real quick, before we stop those, while we're plugging stuff, I'm not going to be able to do a show Friday night. My wife is taking my little one camping because she is the den leader, and I'm going to have to be watching my daughter. Can't really do that and do a show, but we'll be here Sunday for Hell in a Cell live, and we'll do the live reaction to Hell in a Cell. So you'll still get 2 shows this week. Just going to do Sunday instead. Maybe we'll go on a little early and do predictions right before the show. How's that?
Yeah, could be. I mean, are we talking like, I would say early before the actual show? Because if we go early before the pre-show, that's like 6:30.
Oh, no. I'm thinking we talk during the pre-show about the predictions. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. So we're not going to waste time with predictions tonight. We'll do those Sunday. We'll go on probably 30 minutes before the actual pay-per-view starts. So right in the middle of the, what do you call that? Pre-show. Right in the middle of the pre-show. And hopefully you guys will join us for that. We'll have a little fun here Sunday, since I'm not dreading going to work on Monday. Maybe starting a new job, but it's they don't even have an office for me, so I'm working from home. So can't beat that shit. You know what I'm talking about? All right, so new adventures, all kinds of shit going on. I think you want to start with AEW. I don't think we decided what to start with.
Yeah, we certainly can if you would like to do that. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna hit everything anyway. So just whatever works.
We are. But AEW tonight was interesting, to say the least. I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I got a few little notes, and Smart will fill in anything I missed.
Mm-hmm.
We did start off with the Wardlow and the Jungle Boy match. Classic big man underdog, except the underdog got his ass whooped, which I figured he would. Wardlow, kind of a big dude, obviously, pretty agile, but also kind of stiff. Not, and I mean robotic stiff. I don't mean like lays it in stiff. A little robotic though in the ring. I mean, when Jungle Boy hit him and he fell out of the ring, he looked like he was going, I'm falling. Oh no, I'm falling. It looks like a Monty Python movie.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many, like, I don't know what his experience was prior to coming aboard. I hadn't really seen him on the independent scene, so I don't think he was out there putting that work in for just, like, forever. He's kind of a finished product. I think he's still pretty new to everything, so that might get better with time. Who knows? I mean, they certainly want him to be a big player for them, so hopefully he manages to figure that out.
I mean, he's a huge fucking guy. I don't blame him for wanting him to be one of their big men. He should be. He's a huge motherfucker. He's tall. I mean, he's not just a jack dude. He's also tall, which, but I don't know, man. I mean, look, I know he's still new, needs a little more work. That's fine. I'm not shitting on the guy. I'm just saying right now he just looks a little robotic in the ring. That can be worked on. That can be improved. I'm not, not shitting on the guy at all. Not really. A little bit, maybe.
I would say that he's taller than him, but I would say he gives me a little bit of a Rhino vibe, like early Rhino.
I could see that, but to me, man, he's fucking Rob Terry, bro. Rob Terry.
That works too. I mean, yeah, that's also a pretty apt comparison.
Mm-hmm. All right, big lot of Eddie Kingston tonight. If you didn't think that they were going to really use Eddie Kingston, this should show you that they are definitely using Eddie Kingston. They're using him in great ways. The guy cuts great promos. He was great on commentary. He even went after JR, which I was laughing my ass off at. But they did like we figured they would. Both of us agreed, Smart. They were going to play this little thing since it went off the air before it got on there. And they did play the little, I don't know if you want to call it a promo, but he was screaming at Moxley last week. We played it. It was a little hard to hear, but the camera machines were still rolling, Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Right. As they tend to do.
So, I don't know, man. Once again, Kingston's just, I wasn't a big fan of his on the indies. Don't know a lot about him, which actually might be better that I don't know a lot about him before. But I'll tell you, man, I love his promos. He's a classic New Yorker.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't try to hide it, which I really appreciate. He goes out, he talks his shit, and he says what he wants to say. And I don't think he gives a fuck if he gets in trouble or not. He just goes out, says what he wants to say. But I just love that he's just him. It's just him. That's what it is. And it's fucking great.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the thing about, I have been a fan of his since I want to say about 2009 was when I kind of found out about him. But I had always kind of had that fear in my mind because he is so much him that it would just never quite work. Like, I had come to terms with the idea that he was just never getting signed by anybody of any real significance. Like, he had a run with Impact. He had two runs with Impact. But just like you said, he is so very much him, and he just doesn't really play the kind of corporate bullshit game that a lot of people play. And I think the fact that not everybody knows about him kind of helps, because it's this sort of weird, like, I don't want to say weird, but sort of like a nomadic figure, I guess, of just, he's been around for almost forever, but it's like some people haven't heard of him, and it's like, oh, what's this guy's deal? And it still seems very surreal to see him being in such a big position within the company, and to see them actually making it out to look like he actually has a shot at winning I don't necessarily think that he will, because I think they're building up to the Omega Moxley feud. But just they legitimately seem like they want to make him a big star for them, and that's really good to see, I think.
Yeah, it is. And there's a guy though. You can't put a gimmick behind him. There's no gimmick that would work with him, because Eddie Kingston is just Eddie Kingston. He doesn't go out there and try to be anything he's not. He's just him. You can't put any gimmick on that guy at all, because there's no gimmick that would fit him.
Right.
And that's great. In some ways. But I don't know, man. Just really liking everything. Like I said, he was great on commentary tonight. We saw him for one promo. We saw him for 2 promos, and we saw him on commentary. And I love that he looked at, Phoenix, and he's like, my boy, I'm going over here. I'm going to talk. All right. It was great. It was fucking great. So, I don't know. More Eddie Kingston.
One of my favorites was, it was like probably about 3 weeks or so ago. I don't remember exactly, but he had like the whole stable was in the ring, and he was just like going down what he likes about everybody. He just looks at Pentagon. He goes, "Oh, you're my best friend." Looks at Phoenix like, "You're the best high flyer in the world, brother." And then he's talking about how big the Butcher is, and then he gets to the Blade, and he's like, "Yeah, and you." And then he starts talking again. And I'm like, wow, you're not even hiding the fact. You're like, what he is in the stable, and everyone does.
He's a fucking cuck right now, is what he was thinking. But that changed.
Somebody's got to eat those pinfalls, man.
We might as well just go ahead and say it. That did change tonight. The Bunny did come back.
Yeah.
Joined the Butcher, the Blade. Now we got the Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny back together. I was kind of like, what the fuck? And then literally, as I'm saying, what the fuck, they show us that it happened on Dark.
Yeah, it happened yesterday on Dark.
So thank you, at least for explaining what happened, because I was sitting there in just completely dumbfounded. Which, that's not hard to do. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I guess we can, there we go. I just actually tied in a bunch of my notes together right there. Now, we get the Omega match. We did have 4 matches that were the qualifiers tonight for the number one contender, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did have those 4. I'll get to those. We'll wrap those up at the end. But Omega was one of those matches, going out there against Sonny Kiss. Glad we'll be calling AEW tomorrow. But the entrance for Kenny Omega. How obnoxious was that, dude?
Very much so. And I mean, that was the whole point.
Oh, the PWI shit, the Wrestling Observer, blah, blah. This is Mark shit, dude. Mark shit. But obviously, a heel turn for Kenny Omega is coming.
Right.
Definitely.
It's almost, kind of almost reminds me a little bit of like a modern version of like how JBL was calling himself the wrestling god for a while. Of just like, I'm the best wrestler ever. Fucking like that kind of level of just smarmy dick suckery.
It is, but it's just weird that they put all that. I don't know, man. You don't expect to hear that in an entrance. The PWI 500 wrestler of this year, and the Wrestling Observer. That's fucking Marky shit, dude. That's dirt. That's dirt sheet shit. That's dirt sheet dude stuff, man.
That's right. But I mean, we all know who their core audience is, and I mean, it might be a little bit pandering, but like it's happened before in the past where there's been like on WCW or WWF when they've had like big matches, or they've used international talent, where they're like, oh, the press from Japan's here, and so from this, magazine's here, and all that kind of shit. So it's not like it hasn't happened before.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's just another little weird thing. But I'll tell you, even though it was a little obnoxious, those girls out there sweeping, they could sweep my floor.
Yeah, it is weird that you sent me a message on Messenger that just said they know their place.
No, I know.
I didn't know what that was in reference to, but that I was a little behind on AEW, and I was like, oh, that must have been that.
What?
No, I'm kidding. There was no such message. I'm using my imagination with that. No, it was a cool entrance though. I liked it. Like, it was closer to the kind of elaborate entrances that he would do in Japan. So, I mean, they're getting more in touch with that.
All that for a 19-second fucking match, dude.
I mean, that kind of adds to it. There's like all this pageantry, and then he just goes out, knees the fucker in the head, hits the finish, and it's over.
Yeah, it's 19 seconds. 19 seconds. Put him in the what was it? The
Winged Angel.
Winged Angel, that's right. And just dropped him. That was it. Match over. We just bring up he was all Kenny Omega was also Sports Illustrated Wrestler of the Year in 2017. Who gives a fuck? All right. So we'll move.
Oh yeah, his antics is bringing out or points out there was supposed to be Joey Janela in that spot. And then he wrestled AJ Gray at the GCW show this weekend. I guess AJ Gray got COVID, got that Rona, and so now he's going to be out for 2 weeks. I guess quarantining. So yeah, it had been announced that it was supposed to be Janela. I gotta wonder. We talked about this before, like Friday, with the kind of outbreaks that were going on because of the whole collective thing. I'm kind of I wonder after a while if they kind of just start to get upset that, they allowed him to, but just the idea that Janela's doing all these shows now, it's like, well, we're paying you money to work for us, motherfucker, and you're out there risking getting corona.
I could see where that's going to be a problem, but AEW is not WWE. Right now they've got one show on television, and Dark, which is only a YouTube show.
Yeah,
these guys probably got to still make a little extra. I don't know what their contracts look like, but I don't think they're in the millions. I wouldn't think so. Not for a Joey Janela. But
I don't know. This is purely speculative, but I really wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of months or just however long the length of his contract runs, if he ends up making the decision not to re-sign, or if they don't re-sign him. It just doesn't seem like they're super wild about him, and it doesn't seem like he's super wild about being there. This is, again, just perception. There's no actual fact behind any of this, but just that's the vibe I'm getting.
I mean, I don't know how he feels about being there. He should be fucking grateful and ecstatic to be there. But I don't know. They may not. But we'll see. I guess we'll find out soon. But I don't know how long his contract was. So we'll find out. We will find out. But I don't know. Yeah, like I said, 19 seconds. Quick match. So we already spent way more time than we should have on it, I guess, for a 19-second match. I got to say, once again, Ricky Starks is growing on me. I shit on that guy a lot. I know I did when he was in NWA. But he's found a new gear, a new level for me that I'm liking his promos. I'm liking all the shit he's doing right now, his promos, and he's growing on me, man. He's fucking growing on me.
Yeah, nothing too complicated about what it is that he's doing. He's just kind of the young, cocky douchebag character, but he plays it really well. Even when he was doing the whole thing where he's parodying Darby Allin, he was almost pulling off the whole Darby Allin look better than Darby Allin was. And I was like, yeah, they got to stop that. So making the actual Darby Allin look not so great. But he's just really fine. He's hitting his stride. He really kind of found his voice, I guess. And he was a pretty young guy when he was even when he was in NWA and even now in AEW. So he was a work in progress. I think he's still developing a little bit, but I've been really enjoying this stuff.
Yeah, same here. And I don't know. I guess, like you said, he's young, probably got a lot of time left, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. And again, I wasn't when he was in NWA. I actually wasn't even happy when I saw him come over here, but week after week, I got to tell you, man, he's growing on me. So that's a dude doing his job as far as I'm concerned. So, all right, Smark. Let's get into this dinner debonair segment. Let's do this. I've got about 20 seconds of it, which we'll play in a minute. AEW put a little bit of it on Facebook, and I'll play that for you in a minute. But it started off a little awkward. They were ordering porterhouse steaks, and each of them were going less and less. They went from medium well to, well, actually well done, which I don't know who please tell me you don't eat your steak well done. I'll fucking, please.
Exactly why they did this segment. Because there are very much, and I will say that right now, but you can very much get into a pissing contest about how it is you prefer your steak. Because there are definitely those purists out there that are like, well, if it's anything less than meh, then it's not even fucking worth it. You're paying for the fucking thing. Eat it however the fuck you want. I do not give a shit.
Go ahead. Yeah, there you go. Antox medium rare. Sorry to cut you off. Medium rare. I'm rare to medium rare. Anywhere in between there is good for me. But to me, if you eat a well done steak, just go buy beef jerky. Just go fucking get beef jerky, heat that shit up, put some fucking A1 on it, because you know you're ruining the steak with fucking A1 sauce. It's well done.
Okay, I like it.
Fuck A1 sauce. If you put A1 or Heinz 57, you're ruining your steak, man.
Yeah.
I eat steak because I like the taste of meat.
Okay. To argue that point, like, are you just kind of a salt and pepper guy, or will you marinate it in something?
I'll do some marinade, more of just salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, maybe some onion powder, throw on top there.
See, I personally don't see how that's any different. Like when you start adding marinades and shit to it. Marinade is a sauce of a kind. It's a liquid that you use to enhance the flavor, as would a barbecue sauce or A1. I'm not a big A1 person, but I will occasionally dip some barbecue sauce in it.
Well, I mean,
I do eat like a child, though. I will say that I get like chicken fucking anywhere.
Oh, dude, I literally had chicken tenders for lunch at a restaurant today in front of customers, and they're looking at me. I don't give a shit. Fuck it, all right? I'm like, okay.
Exactly. I'm all about it. Chicken tenders or boneless chicken wings or just chicken sandwich. It's really hard to fuck up a chicken sandwich.
Oh, this girl's eating salad and, this little chicken explosion salad. And I'm like, chicken tenders, please. Oh, fries. Need fries. This place has the best fries. They're seasoned and homemade, like home cut fries, not frozen fries. They're delicious, and they blanch them, then they fry them. They're delicious.
Oh, that does sound wonderful.
But anyway, enough about food. I'm literally getting hungry. But this segment started off again with them kind of going through their steak temperatures, I guess you could say. Probably exactly what it was. And then they're going back and forth, hey, this is a big opportunity for you, a big opportunity for me, blah, 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 joining the inner circle. And then it gets Disney soap opera kind of Rat Pack-ish.
Reminding me a little bit of Family Guy, where they'll occasionally do like musical numbers for no apparent reason.
That's probably what it was, but I'll tell you what it reminded me of. And is Anthony still in the chat? No, he's not, but he'll hear the reference, hopefully. Hudson Hawk. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not. I apologize.
All right. It is Danny Aiello and Bruce Willis, and they're big fans of Frank Sinatra and Rat Pack songs. Sinatra, Dean, Jesus Christ.
Sammy Davis Jr.
I forget the guys.
Dean Martin?
Dean Martin. Thank you. All right. Antox has seen Hudson Hawk. This, to me, had a big Hudson Hawk feel just because of the cheesiness of it. And I even messaged you, what the fuck am I watching? But it still was good. Wild. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Please.
No, I was just saying it was wild. You can go ahead.
It was. It was definitely. It was weird, but I got to tell you, by the end of it, I was like, this was great. I love this. Right. Tell me, this is something WWE would try to pull off, and it would come off way worse than this. These two just pulled off this so great, and MJF was sort of doing a Sinatra kind of gimmick if you really listen to him. And you know what? It sounded like both of them were singing, man.
Yeah, it did sound like they were their authentic voices. You were exactly right. WWE would try to pull something like this off, but I don't think they would necessarily go for like old crooner vibes. They'd probably just have them like try to rap or try to do like rock songs or whatever, and then it would be like mildly funny, but they would do it for like 2 months straight with whoever it was that they made do it, so they would just complete fucking run it into the ground. We all kind of figured when they were announcing that they were going to do this segment last week that like something was going to happen. It was going to be something kind of weird and just out there, but I don't think anybody could have really anticipated this. And I was trying to kind of sit there and analyze it and be like, well, how do I feel about this? And I was like, you know what? I don't have to overthink this shit. I have a smile from ear to ear on my face right now because of how just sheerly ridiculous this is that they just broke into a musical number during a wrestling show. Like, it's just fucking wild. Like,
yes,
they are definitely, we talked about this when they did the Saturday Night Live thing. They're taking chances. They're doing different stuff. They're not afraid to try different things and to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about it.
Absolutely. And this was, like I said, in the beginning, I was like, what in the hell is happening? By the end, I was like, this is fucking gold. Absolute gold. This will be talked about for a long time coming, and it should be. But anyway, I got about 20 seconds of it. I'm going to play it for you here. Here you go.
Let's do it.
We're closer than pages that stick in a book. We're closer than ripples that play in a brook. Wherever you'll find him, you'll find me just closer than a recliner thrown at Honey's forehead, Kaiser me.
Great stuff, man. Like I said, the beginning, this grew on me, and by the end of this whole fucking segment, it was great. I'll bet they had a blast doing this too, man. I don't know if this was live or not. I would think it wasn't, but I'll bet they had so much fun doing this. MJF is a great character. Jericho, talk about just fucking jack of all trades, man. The guy can he really is a fucking wrestling god, dude. He really is. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just love what these two are doing. These two together, though, can be big money for AEW, I think, in my opinion.
And like the fact that neither one of them was afraid to do it and afraid to commit to it. Like, as weird as funny as it may seem, like there are plenty of people who would have gotten an idea like that and been like, I'm not doing that. It's gonna make me look weird. It's gonna make me look lame. I'm not gonna. I'm a tough guy. Like they both fucking just went there and they just got as ridiculous as they possibly could. And like I said, it was out there. It was ridiculous. It was like a little bit cheesy, but it was fucking marvelous. It really was.
It was, and I know there's going to be a lot of people like, if WWE did this, you people would be shitting all over it. You're right. We would. I agree with that. And I would shit all over it. But I think
it helps that before and after was actually good wrestling. That would be the main difference.
Exactly. Number one. Number two, these two guys pulled it off. I'm sorry. These two guys pulled it off. I don't care what show it was on. They pulled it off. And I thought it was fucking great by the end, man. Awesome shit. Again, though, reminded me of Hudson Hawk a lot. And Antox, I've got some of the Elias concert, and I've got a few things to say about that, definitely. We will get to that very, very soon, actually. We're actually not much left to AEW, and then we'll jump right into that. So, yeah, man, great segment. Like I said, this is going to be talked about. This will be all over the place tomorrow, I think.
Oh, sure. And I'm just looking forward to, like, seeing what the more level-headed people have to say about it, the people that just don't shit on everything or don't blindly praise everything. But I am also kind of looking forward to what the people who just think anything that isn't just people punching each other in the face is killing the business.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to the saltiness too.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, man, like I said, that's going to be talked about tomorrow and probably tonight, but great segment by them, man. After that, we got Steve-O, a little Steve-O cameo tonight with Darby Allin. And Smark, I got to ask you a question here.
Sure.
The fuck is Darby Allin's obsession with body bags, bro?
Well, I mean, don't kink shame anyone. I guess some people are into the whole necrophilia thing. Not for me, but, you know, we all live different lives. I don't know what's up with that. It made me kind of laugh because I had seen a picture of them together like a couple days ago. So obviously, you know, they filmed this. Mm-hmm. But I like how he's sort of just doubling down, where like people's main complaint against him is he does too much unnecessary stunts and risk to hurt himself, and he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna make this my gimmick. I'm gonna do vignettes where I fucking hurt myself. I'm like, all right, well, that you do you. It's your body. Fuck it.
I guess, but it's gonna suck when he's hurt bad enough to where he can't come back, and we only get a few years out of the guy. That's all I'm saying, man.
For sure.
It's gonna suck.
I mean, it's gonna be sad to see when he's all like broken down and everything, but like I always say, I mean, it's their body, it's their choice whether or not they take the bump. So if that's what they want to do, I mean, if it's entertaining, I'm going to be entertained by it.
Yeah. Antox is saying wrestling needs more musicals. I'm not sure about that, but could be.
I'm down for it.
Could be. And that's one good thing about having Jericho around. He's got Antox said he's got a Rolodex of friends. I'm sure a lot of people right now listening to the show are going, what the fuck is a Rolodex? It is a list of phone numbers that is called a cell phone now. It's called contacts now. But, I mean, he's got a lot of fucking friends. He can get people out there. He's been in the industry, not just wrestling. You got to remember, this guy has done game shows. He's got a band. He's out there more than we think he is. He's done television. So he's definitely got some contacts out there. You saw that on the 30th anniversary for Jericho, who just the names that were on, showing up for those cameos that night, man. Those weren't bullshit celebrities. Those were fucking some pretty named, highfalutin celebrities. So that's a plus.
And it's people that we already know that he actually is friends with or has some form of relationship with. It isn't just like paying Arnold Schwarzenegger like $80,000 to be like, hey, come pose next to Triple H for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I love the Jericho. Yeah, I love get to the chopper. 2 weeks. Anyway,
exactly.
Anyway, from there we go to the main event. I don't know if I missed it. I did miss the women's match, but it was.
I mean, it is what it is on that one, but the Pentagon Phoenix match was really good. I'd recommend that if you haven't seen it. Anybody listening?
Oh, I didn't have any notes on that. I thought I had notes on that. I guess I missed that. I'm sorry. That match was. You know what? I probably missed it because that match was so fucking good. I didn't want to take it. I couldn't take my eyes off that fucking match. But yeah, man. And you know what? That was definitely one of the 4 matches we had tonight. That was the qualifiers. And great match. We knew that was going to be a good match, but a little shocked that Phoenix pulled out the win there. To be honest with you, a little shocked.
A little. I mean, I say this as somebody who's a Pentagon fan, but like I feel like Phoenix kind of meets the criteria of the people that they're trying to push a little bit more. He's a little bit younger. He does a little bit more flippy type moves. I mean, he's one of the best, if not the best, high flyers in the world at the moment. So there's just a lot to him that I'm not surprised at all that they would kind of want to push him a little bit more. And we did already see the Pentagon and Kenny Omega match at one of their shows. It was one of the first ones. I think it was All In, the very first All In.
Right.
Because you had Jericho dressing like Pentagon to further his feud with Omega. But I mean, we have seen it before, so I guess maybe they're going to go in a little bit of a different direction. And if they actually let them have a match, I don't know if they're going to do another repeat of what they did with Omega's match tonight, but if they actually let them go for 15, 20 minutes, it's going to have a lot of people talking, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you know what? We'll go ahead and run these down real quick. It was tonight's matches were Pentagon Zero versus Rey Fenix. Obviously, we just said Phoenix won that match. We had Omega versus Sonny Kiss, 19 seconds. Omega wins that match. We had Colt Cabana and Hangman Page. That match went too long, in my opinion. I think that should have been another squash match, but that's because I'm not the biggest fan of Colt Cabana. Paige did win that match. And the Wardlow match, which we did say I think we said Wardlow won. If we didn't, Wardlow did win. So now we are down to Phoenix and Kenny Omega, like Mark just said. Thank you. And Hangman Page and Wardlow. So obviously, once again, we've said this since before this match this tournament started. This is going to come down to Omega versus Paige. This is a bit of a lazy way to get to this match. I really think it is. But I guess we'll just have to see how they keep working it. But I do think it's a bit of laziness on their part. I really do. I don't know if you agree with that, but I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it certainly seems like that's where they're leading to, and that's probably would be the betting favorite. But, who knows? Maybe they will end up switching it around, because I think that they did something similar to this with the tag team, tournament, where everybody seemed like it was just going to lead to the Young Bucks and FTR, but then they ended up, swerving us on that. So they might end up going a little bit of a misdirection, have an upset victory, Paige loses or Omega loses or something like that. Who knows? But if that is where they end up, which is, like I said, what it seems like it's going to happen, it is a little bit lazy, but, as long as the match delivers, I mean, they've been building it up, so they have interest behind it anyway. So, I mean, why not?
Yeah, but now here we are, and we're about to get into, it's about to be the Young Bucks versus FTR at Full Gear.
Right.
So eventually they give it to you. That sounds weird. Anyway, I guess we can go ahead and get into the main event, which was the Young Bucks winning that match. Jesus Christ, who were the teams? It was the Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny. It was Private Party. It was Alex Reynolds and
John Silver.
John Silver, thank you, who cut a strange, roided up promo.
I don't know why, but like I said, I got like Rhino vibes out of Wardlow. I got like a little bit of Crash Holly vibes out of John Silver.
Oh, there you go. Little Crash Holly. I like that.
Just like the high energetic short guy just going off. Yeah.
Wow. That's actually very, very, very good reference. Reference to him. I like that. That's actually, that makes a lot of sense. But of course the Young Bucks were in this match. I'm not going to sit here and go through the match because it was a Young Bucks match. If any of the groups got their shit in, guess who it was?
That's right.
That's right. It was the Young Buckies, who are not looking so young anymore. But yeah, I mean, let's face it. Like, anyone really expected the Young Bucks to lose this match? They don't lose. We know this already.
Right.
They don't fucking lose. But yeah, already we're getting FTR versus Young Bucks. I still say it's too early. I'm sorry. I know I'm crazy. I still think, and you know what? Anthony said this 1,000 times, and I'm always going to agree with him. Where do they go after this? Who do they face? Who's left?
Hopefully in a place that doesn't involve FTR being the tag team champions.
Oh,
I'm in a very different place with you on this one, because I'm like, yeah, let's just get this over with so that we can move on with the division.
Antox, I know it's been 5 months, but they've got nowhere to go from here, man. They've got
That's the whole
nowhere
point
to
of
go.
creative. They always have to find a new place to go. They'll get there.
They've just got nowhere to go. The only place they have to go is FTR splits up and they do singles runs. You want to see that? I don't want to see that. That's smart. You want to see that?
I want to see that in Impact, where I'm not going to watch it.
Okay. Maybe ROH.
Yes. Take them in ROH where they can't hurt anybody anymore.
All right, fine. If that happens there, that's really the only way. Okay, yes, they have an out for a rematch. Come on. Who gives?
Well put. Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I realize they did do that little spot where they tried to break Matt's ankle, but watch. That'll be ready to go by November 7th. I promise you that, sir. You think the Young Bucks are going to give up TV time? No, they're not.
They got a book. They got a book out.
They got it. They got to do it, man. They got to do it. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't know, man. As far as I'm concerned, they should drag this out as long as possible. I mean, look, since we always compare WWE with the Sasha and Bailey thing.
Mm-hmm.
How long have they been friends? Then they broke up. Then they were friends. Then they broke up. Then they were friends. They've dragged that storyline out a long time. I know FTR, they're a tag team. They've been together a long time. I get it. I get the differences. I'm just saying, it's possible to drag a storyline out for a lot longer than 5 months. Unless these guys have a 6-month little handshake deal or whatever the fuck they have, and they're out of here next month, which is fine with me.
Please?
That's all I'm saying.
Please? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. You can let it marinate a little bit, but I mean, this is based on whether or not you actually want to see it anyway. And, like, it's going to be a good match, but I really kind of don't care about the build. So just like, yeah, look, let's have it happen, and then let's have it not happen.
No, the build was a tournament.
Right.
That should be another problem. The build is so you've got the Omega and Paige match, which is being built from a tournament, and this huge match built from you have two of your biggest matches being built from tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a cultural thing, maybe, because like they do shit like this all the time in Japan, or at least with New Japan. They did it this year with their G1 Climax and their G1, not G1, the New Japan Cup that they did, where it's like kind of used as a storytelling device for feuds. So it's like it does happen in places, but it just doesn't really happen a lot in like WWE. So it feels a little bit weird, kind of foreign, or maybe like you said, a little bit cheap and easy doing it this way. But I mean, it's one way to do it, I guess. I'm not going to complain too much if like the matches are good.
Yeah, I'm still going with cheap and easy. I'm still going with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, so we'll see that match at Full Gear. I wouldn't doubt if that match ended in some possible disqualification fuckery to make that feud. If they're smart, that match will end with some fuckery or a DQ or something stupid to further that feud. Because, like I said, FTR's got nowhere to go. That's it. This is the corner. The paint's still drying. The paint is still drying.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little bit too early to take the belts off of them, but I think their tag team division is so rich that you can actually exist as a tag team without being, tag team champions or competing for the tag team championships, and still kind of thrive. Like, as we saw with the whole feud with the Best Friends and LAX or Pride and Powerful, however we want to call them. I hate that name, so I don't really want to call them that.
Santino and Ortiz. Just stick with that. Yeah. Just stick with that. But, so you think the Young Bucks are gonna lay down?
Not at all. No. Okay. That's why I said it might still be early to take the belts off of them. That fully implies that they're going to win if the Young Bucks are going to win.
I mean, they could. They could lay down. It's possible, but
maybe the first time. But I think it's going to end up with them winning the belts.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Most definitely. But Antox is saying they will. All right. Maybe. Might do a little predictions contest.
They got a book out. That's all I'm saying.
Oh shit! They got a book out. Oh my god. Oh my god. Whatever. All right, let's just get into Raw, because you know why? It's the season premiere of Raw.
That's right.
There you go. And it was the season premiere. I think we even got a new intro. New intro, right?
Yeah. It's a new intro.
Liked it. Wasn't bad. I liked it. Wasn't horrible. I liked it. I guess they figured, well, who was that first band? Skrillex or whoever it was?
I didn't hear the actual song. I just know that there was a new intro because I saw people bitching about it.
Oh, no, the old band.
Oh, the old one. Still, yeah, no idea, honestly.
All right. Well, I know they got someone new doing their music, which is fine. It's fine. I mean, CFO Shift 4, or Money Sign, whatever you want to call it. Those guys were decent, but Skillet, that was their name.
Yes.
Skillet,
which is a lot different than Skrillex.
Skillet.
Well, one's like a shitty rock band, and one's like a shitty EDM producer, musician, whatever you want to call him that. I don't really think pressing buttons makes you a musician, but that's the old man in me.
Well, one you can cook eggs in, one you can't.
True.
Let's put it that way. So you need a skillet. You need a skillet always. Just not that song. Just not that song. Not a horrible song, but I don't know. We had to change it up for the season premiere, obviously.
That's right.
So there you go. And we got a little. I got to tell you, Raw was not as bad as I saw a lot of shitting on Raw. There was some bad stuff. I feel bad for Otis. We'll get into that, but there was also some good stuff. Like to start out, I thought the Alexa thing was pretty cool. You know, with her kind of introing the Fiend when he came down, seemed a little Killer Cross, whatever you want to call him, a little bit. I'm not going to say copied, but had that little vibe to it with, you know, how Scarlett Bordeaux was introducing him. She didn't really come down and do it that way, but just, again, a little bit of that vibe is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Alexa in this role. She's obviously a horror fan. She always came out as, you know, a different horror character when on the pay-per-views, and this role sort of fits her. She's kind of that, you know, cute, bitchy girl, and I like it.
I do too, yeah. Like you said, that she's a fan of the horror and the whatnot, and like I like it because it actually gives her something to do, and it actually gives her like a character. Because it seems like with the women and with the men too, honestly, just pretty much with anybody that's working for them, for the most part, they don't really have fleshed out characters. So she actually has like a character. She has a motive. You know, she actually has like a bit of a gimmick. So good for them. I like it.
Yeah, I mean it was a little cheesy when they had her, you know, mimic the Fiend voice. When they had that was a little cheesy.
She opened her mouth and his voice came out.
Yeah, that was a little cheesy. And we'll get into the Funhouse segment in a little while here. And I'm still coming to you from the Funhouse right here.
Mm-hmm.
But if I move my arm, my chair goes away and comes back. This is like some fucking magic shit too, man.
It is a touch distracting. I won't lie, but it's part of the fun. I like seeing your chair disappear and reappear. It is a fun magic trick, as you have said.
I'll turn it a little bit. Maybe it won't be as bad. I'm sure I got a nice blue shirt on anyway. It's fine. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And then this whole Retribution, they just bitched out Retribution their first night, really out there, trying to tear shit up with people in the ring. Retribution comes down. Alexa and Fiend just stand there like they're fucking statues.
Mm.
The lights go out, and those two disappear. The Hurt Business comes down and bitches out.
The lights go out, and you hear, "Get him!" And then, like 5 seconds later, "Where'd he go?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fucking terrible. Like from the jump, this is awful.
It's bad. And then Hurt Business comes down, bitches out Retribution, and then
Bar taps out.
Wait, exactly. T-Bar taps out. Then they lose the match. Then they get their asses kicked by the Fiend. It's just way to build somebody. Idiots.
Hey, I mean, like I was watching this and I was thinking, like, I really wonder what their original plan was for them, because it can't be this. Like, they looked like fucking jokes out there. Like, it looked like people bitch about Cena, like, kind of single-handedly just going over and destroying the Nexus. But at least the difference is, like, at least people cared about the Nexus. Like, when fucking Bray Wyatt destroyed the entire Retribution stable, and everybody was just like, yeah!
Fucking ridiculous, man. This was a little ridiculous, but... and I gotta tell you, some of them look really good in their characters. Dio Madden really looks good in that character. He's like the fucking Predator. He looks, and he moves like the Predator in that character a little bit. It's kind of cool. Dijakovic, all right. Mia Yim started putting a little more shit around her face, those little diamond dotty thingies. Good in the character too, but the other guy, who is that?
Slapjack.
Yes, but who is that? I forget.
I have no fucking idea, honestly. I'm sorry.
Well, Slapjack don't fit. Slapjack don't fit. I don't know, but fucking call him Flapjack. He's a fucking pancake. I don't care. But in my opinion, this is not the way to build a fucking maniac group. Shane Thorne. Thank you, Antox. See, Antox, this is why we appreciate you coming in here. Really. You give us fucking information, and I love that. But, yeah, man, it's not a great way to build Retribution as this badass, killer, tear shit up, Antifa-style group.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Because at first it seemed like, okay, cool, like, The Fiend, if you want to pretend that, he didn't, like, lose to Goldberg and they don't make him lose to Roman all the time. But if you want to pretend, here it is that The Fiend is this, like, giant monster character, and, like, he comes after all of his opponents. They never come after him. So it's, like, cool that this group is like, all right, we're going to make a statement by coming after this guy, and then all of a sudden they get thwarted by his magic. And then the second match that they have on TV, they just straight up fucking tap out. Still, it's a bad look. So it's just like, all right, like, if nobody was behind them anyway, you save it. Like, you can come back at not now, I don't think, because like everybody draws the parallel between and then they started doing those vignettes and people started, kind of coming over towards their side, and then, what happened and the kind of their mega days, but there was a period where people were behind them. And like, like I said, you can come back from looking bad at the first,
It is tough, and especially for Bray Wyatt, who really lost a lot.
Up there, like the New Day did.
Oh, you're kind of breaking up a little bit here, Smart.
Hell.
No, you're wait. Keep talking for a second.
Let's see here. Let's just not move.
No, you're good. You're good. Keep rolling. Kind of go back about 30 seconds if you can.
All right. I mean, just to condense it, what I'm saying is they had a bad start, but you can come back from that like the New Day did, like the Dark Order did. But they seem like they're trying to one-up themselves every week, trying to top how worse they can make them look. And it's just they keep building that gap further and further and further. And it's going to reach a point, if we're not already there, that they want them to. I think by now they just kind of live on purpose. And I feel like they're maybe not doing that.
I don't know, man. It's just so they're just not doing very well with those guys.
No, and it's a shame because if you think about it, they took Mercedes Martinez out of the group. So now you have Mia Yim. It's like, okay, what do you do with her?
Right.
But if you would have kept Mercedes Martinez, they need female tag teams. You had a built-in female tag team with a built-in motive for why they're teaming and why they want to win the belts.
Yeah.
And you got rid of it.
No, it's again, I don't know how they plan. And then we get Ali cutting this promo later, which in my opinion wasn't exactly a building promo for these guys. He admitted to being the SmackDown hacker, like we didn't fucking know.
Right.
I'm confused on how the ex-cop became a hacker, but hey, weirder things have happened, I guess. So, it's just to me, it's just not great. Ali being the leader is just odd. Maybe it'll make sense down the road more. This promo actually confused you more. Like, okay, how did the hacker? Why? How? He really didn't explain it, in my opinion.
But yeah, and he was also like kind of alluding to the fact of like, all right, you made me look silly in the ring, and I'm going to make you look silly. I'm going to expose you. And if that was targeted at like Bray Wyatt, like how? Are you going to be like? You're just wearing a mask. You're not really a satanic killer. Like, yeah, everybody knows. Like, I don't understand what the end game of this is going to be. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to like hack into their Twitter and make them say just like offensive shit? Is that going to be like how you end up justifying firing Lars Sullivan? You're going to build an angle where it's like, oh, this shit was just Ali hacking into his account and making him say dumb shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Like he was some SWAT member or something. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, they need to do a little bit of they need to try to do a little bit of work with Retribution. If they're supposed to be these badasses, have them come down as badasses, because right now they're actually looking like Antifa, who pretty much...
They need to retool them somehow, because I think that they've missed that boat already. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna take a lot of work to build them up as serious, intimidating badasses.
Absolutely, it will. It'll take a little bit of work. And obviously, again, I'm going to move on if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm tired of shitting on Retribution. It's ridiculous at this point. Diaper change. Not for me. Good night, Logan. My son's going to bed too. So, but AJ Styles comes down and good night, buddy. He has a new bodyguard.
Yes,
a new bodyguard. Jordan Omogbehin. How close was I, Smart?
Closer than I probably would have been.
Okay. Omogben. I'm just going to go with Omogben. I know I'm tearing it up, but I apologize for butchering his name. I guess Joseph Parks wasn't working out, which I like Parks being out there, but like maybe I was the only one. And obviously he is the Raw Underground. He was the bodyguard down there. I'm again not sure if they just have no place to do it. But again, why can't you just film Raw Underground from the fucking Performance Center? Why? It's your Performance Center. Why can't you film it? Why not?
I think the theory was, this is according to Meltz, I'm like paraphrasing, so kind of bear with me.
Yeah, I know.
Was just that it was like way too many people like all together at once. So it was like people are kind of looking at it more as a bad idea after kind of thinking about it more. Like potentially more of a chance to spread that there Rona. I guess that's what he was saying was kind of the idea of them pulling the plug on it.
Great. It's a super spreader event. I get it. Mm-hmm. I get it. Like Jericho was a part of those 23 cases that happened. Big super spreader event. These people are being tested. And
well, I mean, to be fair, WWE as a whole hasn't done a fucking outstanding job of keeping people.
No, they haven't. But again, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, God.
Did you see that they're actually, since we do like to talk about news here, I can bring it up in a minute here. They're being investigated. Them as a whole. Yeah, I'm gonna actually bring this up before I talk any more about it. Meltzer had posted it. I'm gonna dig it up because I don't want to pop off with just what I remember and it being completely wrong. But they are being investigated in Florida as being like a super spreader. I'll bring that out here in a second.
Ooh, not
but
good.
Yeah, I've got a little bit. We'll double back to this here in a second. But the whole AJ thing, I wish they would have stuck with Joseph Park on this. Like, it makes more sense. It's more of a fun pairing. I think it's a better pairing because I think with it seems like he fits AJ's character a little bit better. Like, I definitely like the guy that they're using, but I feel like they could have used him somewhere else or for something else. Because like AJ's character is kind of like almost like a Kurt Angle in a sense, where he's kind of a lame guy. He's like kind of a dork, and he can be a chicken shit heel sometimes when he wants to be. Like, he tries to avoid big conflicts with like the bigger name talent, but at the same time, when he actually has to wrestle, and when they get him into the ring, he's a very credible wrestler, and everybody knows that. He's very talented, skilled.
Yeah. I do agree with that, but AJ is also kind of a goofy-ish kind of character. Even as a heel, he always is kind of that smart-ass goofy guy. So when you got the goofy guy with the other goofy guy, which Joseph Parks is a goofy character, and by the way, I love the character. I think this is a better contrast of characters. You know what I mean? And I think
I can see that.
Yeah, I think it's a better contrast of character. You have the big stoic giant behind him, and literally AJ had his hands in the air doing his little finger thing, and he still was underneath the chin of this Jordan gentleman. Unbelievable how tall this guy is.
We talked about this when Braun Strowman had come over, or when he had made his appearance trying to get into Raw Underground, because he showed up and he was supposed to be this badass. And he's like, if you don't let me fucking go in there, I'm going to kick your ass. And then he's like looking up at him. Like he's looking up at Jordan.
Yes.
And this is like, this guy is fucking huge.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He is fucking huge. So I don't know, man.
I did like the little like shuffle that he did when Matt Riddle like ended up hitting the ground. He was out on the ringside.
Yeah.
And he just kind of walked very slowly at him and looked down, which just almost as to say, hey, what do we got here?
Yeah, exactly. Riddle, and Riddle, I've praised this guy before, but they're sticking with him, man. They must know something we don't. I'm telling you, WWE would not push this guy in this time with these accusations unless they knew something we didn't, as far as I'm concerned. I just don't think that, especially not on their flagship show. Do you agree with that? Smart?
Yeah, and honestly, I do agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, you're cutting out again. Nope, you're good. You're good. Keep going. Come on. Bring it on.
Let's try that again.
Okay, now you went robotic
yeah,
on me.
I do agree with that. I honestly had kind of not even...
You're good. You're good. They're good.
Okay. There we go.
Yes, there you go.
I do agree with that. I was honestly not even thinking about the allegations so much as I was thinking that it like kind of made him look a little bit weak. Because like we all know that he has a legitimate fighting background. And we put over the fucking Jordan, he is huge, obviously. So it's like it's believable that he could intimidate pretty much anybody, but at the same time, like, is he really the guy that you want to have like kind of bitching out?
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I'm actually looking at this picture you just posted, Smark. And they are in the Orange County Department of Health. Looks like is investigating something called the Jesus School, Judah Church, Amazon Distribution Center. Wow. WWE Full Sail, WWE Performance Center on Forsyth, WWE Amway Arena, Plaza on University Apartments, Crunch Fitness, 2 Crunch Fitnesses, and Starbound Performers are being investigated. So all of the WWE sites they have done, they are going after. Wow.
Right.
This is probably going to be not huge. This is off of a Florida TV news channel.
WFTV 9.
Yeah.
I posted the full link here, but yeah, they're investigating a whole bunch of local businesses for just like kind of not being super great at complying and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Read a little bit of it. Orange County Department of Health is asking the strike team to look into a list of 17 businesses in town where COVID-19 might be spreading. Agency said bars seem to be the biggest issue right now. Health officer Dr. Raul Pino said people in their late teens and early 20s are gathering to cheer on college teams or their favorite NFL teams. The virus is spreading. Blah, 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 blah. They talk about all the bars. And they kind of just mention them offhandedly as some of the other places that have been being investigated. It says here in a statement, WWE said, quote, WWE is not open to the public, but rather operating in a closed set with only essential personnel in attendance. As part of an ongoing weekly testing protocols, have administered more than 10,000 PCR tests to WWE performers, employees, production staff, and crew, resulting in only 1.5% positive cases, debatable, as compared to the current national average of more than 5%. Additionally, extensive contact tracing takes place, and impacted individuals are placed in a 14-day quarantine and then only cleared after they test negative, so on and so forth. The other businesses weighed in too.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's why, and I forgot to mention this, but I noticed AEW put up a little disclaimer tonight saying that, this is in a outdoor center with socially distanced fans in attendance, and I think it said strict COVID guidelines or something like that. They did put up a little disclaimer tonight during, I forget which match it was, but I did see that. And I'm wondering if that's why they popped that bad boy up there.
Would surprise me. I mean, it seems like they've done a pretty good job of avoiding any major issues amongst themselves. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't at all be surprised if they're trying to cover their ass. I don't blame them at all. Don't really blame WWE for trying to cover their ass in this either. But
no, and this will
I do
probably
think that 1.5 might be a little bit. I don't know.
yeah, this will probably come out to be nothing because old WWE lawyer is going to get out there and do his thing. So it won't end up being that much, probably. But on the that's wow, they're investigating every place they've been. That's crazy because all those places are in Orange County.
Oh, and then I think like the other thing is that like also the idea or the theory is that there are talent within WWE that are going to some of these bars and restaurants too. So it's like that kind of plays a role in everything as well. But
yeah, because they listed a bunch of the bars and restaurants that they were investigating. I don't know any of them. That's Orange County. I didn't live near. Let's see. It was the bars being investigated: the Treehouse, Basement, the Office, Guilt, Knights Pub, Knights Library, Saddle Up, and the Attic. So yeah, they're investigating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars. So
I have no idea why, but as you're reading those off, my mind was like drifting off into like girls. And they start listing off all of the strip clubs that Motley Crue has been to.
oh, there you go. But yeah, but I mean, it's the team.
these bar names suck. Says
They do, by the way. I like The Office. That's a good one. I like The Office. That's a good one. That's a good one.
If it's a hipster place, they're definitely going to be doing good business.
Oh no, Attic. Attic.
Something loves The Office.
There's no doubt in my mind, Attic is a hipster place. No doubt, they have tons of craft beers. Craft beers everywhere. I guarantee it. I guarantee. Probably. And Saddle Up.
What if it was just a sports bar? It's like that'd be amazing if you just like. I would definitely go to a sports bar that purposely tried to pick the most like gay bar sounding name.
I'm thinking it's a bar that you bet on horses. It's like an OTB bar, off track betting,
Derby and such.
Yeah, it's like off track betting is what it is. Yeah, horses have saddles. You go in there, you got a little off track betting going on. I get it.
It's a Western bar, but there's a lot of confusion.
Right.
That would be wonderful.
And Christopher Kane is right. You used to be worried about catching other shit at the bars, like, STDs. Now it's all coronavirus.
I don't think people are fucking anymore. I think that got like outlawed.
Yeah, did it? I didn't see that. I didn't see that law.
Yeah, well,
Oh shit! Oh, there you go, Sacha Baron Corbin popping on in the chat finally. But yeah, man, this is again. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I really don't. WWE can fucking slap this down like a bug, but the fact that they're investigating all three is definitely strange. Amazon distribution center. I mean, come on, man. People have been. If one business is actually essential, it's Amazon. They have been swamped.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are just staying home and, dude, I think my wife gets a package every day, and I'm like, what the fuck are you spending money on? I quit my job Monday, woman.
I will say, there's a fulfillment center like downtown here, like within the area, and it is amazing because I feel like everybody has worked there for like 2 months. Because they fire so many fucking people. Like, if you can get on and stay on, it's great, because it's great pay, great benefits, and all that, but they fucking chuck you right on out the door.
Well, the place I used to work, that feels good. That felt great to say. Right across the street was a fulfillment center, a distribution center.
Yeah.
And, man, I'll tell you, when they pulled out of there, you would have to wait because it's like 30 or 40 vans pull out of there at one time. And then and then the semi truck, it's crazy. They cause traffic every fucking morning, but I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Completely unrelated, but we also have like a Volkswagen plant around here.
Ah.
And they have such a nice fucking facility. And like they have like everything. Like they built like little gym and like spa and shit for their employees. It's like right on like the premises. Like it's just this big area of land that is just all for their factory and for their employees. Like fucking they got a little like doctor's office, gym and all that. Like it's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, they take good care of their people, seemingly. I don't know anybody that works there, but
sounds like it. But I guess we need to roll back to the AJ thing with Jordan O. I'm not going to butcher his name again. I'm just going to call him Jordan O. How's that sound? Till I actually find someone who can say his name correctly and listen to it on YouTube 5 or 6 times, which I will do. But I like that, again, I think that the giant with the little AJ can give him more of that chicken shit heel and make it even more. I think him with Joseph Parks isn't exactly, because Joseph Parks is again, you have 2 goofballs together. This is like David with Goliath, you know? Not David versus Goliath. Kind of, in a way. Whatever. Right. I like it. But I did like that the ref tried to get him out, and the ref tried to count, and then he ended up begging, pleading, please, Mr. Jordan, get out of the ring, please. And he did. The guy was nice to him, so he left. But I don't know, man. I don't know if he's been trained at all. I have no clue. I don't think he needs to be. I think he could just be intimidating, just doing exactly what he did tonight. Load up that fist like he's going to hit you, and the guy, runs in the ring, gets caught, and loses.
I'm going to set the bar really low and just say that if he does end up being a wrestler, I hope he's better than Kali. Like, that's my expectation for you. If you cannot exceed that, please get out of here.
Well, when he walked down the ramp,
good point.
He didn't look
he does
like
have knees.
Yes, he didn't look like he was on stilts.
Honest to God, I'm not even trying to be funny. It looked like it was just painful to be alive for him at the end of his run.
Dude, I agree, man. I agree. That
like
guy,
when you see those Andre documentaries and like towards the final years, he was just in pain all the time.
Oh yeah,
yeah, probably.
I think we talked about that on one of the shows back in the day. Anyway, before we go completely off track, but yeah, trust me, I definitely think he's going to be better than Kali. God, what a you go from one great comparison with the Crash Holly to this shit comparison. What the fuck are you doing, man?
I'm trying to help him succeed by setting the bar extraordinarily low. Like, if you're better than Kali, I'm going to be behind you.
All right. So there you go. You want to just kind of set yourself up to like him either way is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to try to get behind him.
All right. Let's move on a little bit.
Sure.
Oh, Sacha Baron Corbin says 2 years of awesome WWE training. Has he had 2 years of training? I guess we could look that up. I really could. Smart.
He also brings up another good point. He says he's tall.
He is. He is tall. Yes, he's tall. Anyway, let's move on. I mean, what the fuck? We talked about that already.
It's hard-hitting analysis. I like it. But yes, anyways, we're moving on, yes?
Jesus Christ. Talk about fucking putting the brakes on the show. Anyway, Lana comes out for her match with Asuka. Lana's music, by the way, makes my ears bleed.
It's fucking terrible. I always think about the idea of, like, whenever somebody has an entrance music, like, whether or not it fits is based on, like, whether or not you could picture this person listening to it, like, in their car. And there is no fucking way that Lana's just sitting there in her car just listening to...
Not unless she wants to piss off Rusev. Antox had too much saxophone. Listen, I like me some saxophone. I ain't going to lie. But I like me some rock and roll saxophone, not whatever 20s bullshit she's coming down to the ring with.
It's fucking terrible.
It's like, hey, she's...
Which I guess is fitting because, Lana.
Surprised Cole's not going, hey, 22 skadoo. yeah. Look at the gams on that gal. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm with it.
And it would be Cole. It would be Cole, even though he's not on Raw. But anyway. I don't know. Samoa Joe, see him doing that? No.
Tom Phillips.
Tom Phillips, probably. I mean, he's looking to mouth fuck women on airplanes.
I mean, who is it?
I mean, hey, he tweeted it, not me.
Hashtag goals.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, and again, Lana goes through a table. We had that women's match, which was done. But let's move on to the Elias match.
Sure, let's do it.
Not match, I'm
As
sorry.
Apex says anyway. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not the women's match, but the not the Elias match, but the Elias concert. I got to tell you, Elias, good guitar player, not a bad singer, good song. Seriously, I kind of liked it. What did you think?
It wasn't a bad song. It's like not necessarily the kind of genre of music that I listen to, but yeah, it wasn't terrible.
No.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. I mean, what I was kind of thinking about the whole time I was listening to it was just that, do you remember when they had Lillian Garcia? She put out an album and it like kind of flopped, and then Jillian Hall put out like a fucking Christmas album that was quite clearly a joke, and it sold more copies.
Yeah.
Like, I always think about that. Like, it's just so fucking wild. I feel really bad for her.
Yeah. But I like I said, man, I kind of liked it. I've actually have a little bit of it here. I actually have the whole thing, but I'm only going to play. I'm passing all the stuff with the whole WWE means walk with. I'm passing all that shit. But the music, I actually, like I said, man, I think it was had a little bit of southern rock to it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. Play a little bit of it here. Here we go.
First song is called Amen. And I hope Jeff Hardy is listening real close. Hit it!
How many times they gonna kill me? Try to put me in the grave. 'Cause I'm down deep, I'm about 6 feet. I need someone to save. I only wear my black hat everywhere I go. The only time I take it off is when I do my show. And I said, amen, amen, hallelujah, I'm going in. Amen, amen, hallelujah, I'm going in.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
Who's the guy from House of Pain? Everlast. It's kind of Everlast-ish, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that, but this is kind of what the kind of, kind of not singing your heart out, but talk singing, going through a song. I don't know, man, but I got to tell you, it seemed like he was really playing the guitar and he was really singing. And
it is very much a heel move to be like, all right, the next 5 minutes is going to be you guys listening to me sing a song. Like, I'm not even saying it was bad, but if you really think about it, that is very much a heel move to be like, we're going to stop this fucking show. Everybody is going to pay attention to me for the next 4 or 5 minutes. I
don't know, man. I thought I appreciated that he was actually singing and playing the guitar. That's where I went with this. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. And I'm going to tell you something. I think this guy could actually be one of the biggest baby faces in the company if they keep letting him do shit like this, because...
Well, I mean, they tried that because he was doing that where he was basically doing what Cena was doing, but just like in more of like a country, or like you said, southern rock style form, I guess. Because he was playing guitar, but he was making up the rhymes of like insults the way that Cena would do.
Yeah, and Antox, the piped in cheers were awful, but you know what? I don't give a shit. It was definitely, like I said, man, the guy was really singing. The guy was really playing guitar. As far as I saw, he was. I could be wrong. That could have all been lip synced, but I thought that was fucking pretty damn good. I was impressed, to be honest with you, because he's never really gotten to do the concert. Every time he starts doing it, someone usually came down.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually got a fucking concert out of Elias, and I thought it was, like I said, enjoyable.
I want you to take a quick second to really think this answer over before you give it. And I want everybody else that's listening to kind of think about it too. Would you say that this song, the song that he performed that you just played a little bit of, do you think that it is as good or better than With My Baby Tonight? Because I don't think anything could be.
I hate to break your heart, but I'm going to have to say it was better.
Well, fuck. But hey, I mean, it doesn't break my heart. I got 2 gold bars just for saying that.
Good. You can buy my gold. Jeff Jarrett Gold Rush. Okay.
You gotta love it. You know how to make money, I guess.
You're going to make money on top of money. No, you're not, Jeff. No, you're not. No, you're going to make
money.
Yeah, you're going to make the money. I do love that Sacha Baron Corbin wasn't even in here when we were talking about CFO $, and he's bringing up CFO $. That's fucking great, dude.
And also shitting on it, which is funny because he's a primarily positive individual.
Yeah, he actually said hopefully CFO $, didn't produce the album. They're gone, dude. They ain't producing shit no more.
They can't hurt us anymore.
No, not at all. My next note here is about, but yeah, I like the concert. So.
And a quick note, Jeff Hardy got involved at the end, so they're going to keep their feud going. But anyways.
Yeah, now, that was one of my other questions. I forgot. I'm glad you brought that up. You think that was Jeff Hardy playing that fucking little riff? Or you think that was a pipe in? I think it was a...
He does make his own music.
He does, but he's a singer.
Right.
I think I'm
I don't know, but I did laugh at him doing the little fucking Jeff Hardy dance with the guitar.
Oh, me too. He's sitting there and he looks at the crowd and just starts doing a little. I don't know. I don't know what to call. I don't know what else to call that, but a goddamn the Jason Davis freak out move.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it does. The old gyration, like Jonathan Davis.
Yeah, are you talking about the guy from Korn?
Korn, Jonathan Davis. I apologize.
Yeah, Jonathan Davis.
I caught myself.
That's no worries.
But that's what it reminds me of. Every time he does it, I don't know why.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's a good comparison. I like it.
Yeah, but Jeff Hardy out there, I think that was piped in because he had his back turned. I couldn't see if he was actually playing. Hey, maybe it was. I don't know if he actually plays guitar or not. I know he rides dirt bikes, and that's pretty fucking awesome. I'm a dirt bike fan myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on a little bit. My next note is Big E not being with New Day is a little weird when they come down to the ring, but we did get a shirtless Big E on the screens tonight in the Thunderdome.
I feel like that was very much a choice that he made.
Oh yeah,
and I appreciate him doing it because it did make me laugh. Specifically, that he was shirtless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure why he had to be, but he was, and I just shook my head. I just went, goddamn Biggie, you're great. Either way, you're great, and I do like the way that New Day put the fact that they're gonna all right. Well, we'll take care of Raw. Big E's gonna take care of SmackDown. New Day is spreading their seeds, Mark. Of positivity.
Oh my God! You want to talk about missed opportunities? Because that's what they said. They said they were going to spread their seed
of positivity.
And I looked up because I was looking at my tablet for a second. I was like, "Here we go," because I for sure expected Sheamus to look at Woods and be like, "You spreaded your seed enough, fella," and he didn't do it. And I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
Nah, Sheamus ain't going there. But it was a seed of positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier made sure to pop that one out there. But yeah, I again, man, New Day, I did like that shit. So I don't know, man. It is going to be a little weird, but I think they're going to keep bringing. They're going to team up eventually. You'll see. I guarantee. I think they're going to try this Big E, and eventually, if it doesn't work, which I think it will work, this Big E push, they could put them back together. They could just throw. I mean, there's tons of reasons they can move Big E to Raw, like they'd move AJ to SmackDown and then back to Raw. Fucking Pinball AJ.
Good old Pinball AJ.
Good old Pinball AJ over there.
As he was known back in high school.
There you go.
The Who wrote a song about him.
Yeah, he was the ballet table king. I don't think AJ's deaf, dumb, and blind.
I mean, he's a flat earther, so close enough.
Oh God!
Which I almost hope he's doing just to fuck with people.
Oh, that flat earther sure plays a mean pinball.
I don't know why I have told people that I believe in flat Earth just so that they would stop talking.
I need a beer. Hold on.
Fair enough. Time for an intermission.
No, I already got it. I got it. You told people
Hey, like, whatever it takes. Like, some of these people are just the more annoying people. It's like, all right, if I think that that's what's going to make you not talk to me anymore, I'm all for it. I'll do it.
That's a good, yeah, that sounds like something you should do to telemarketers. So, do you believe the Earth is flat? Huh? Do you? Sir, I don't want to sell you anymore. Okay, bye. That worked well.
Right, pretty much.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Shit. Titus O'Neil.
Yes.
Since we already talked about the Ali thing, Titus O'Neil tried to join. I don't know what the hell I just said. Tried to join the Hurt Business tonight, and you know, it actually fits with him joining the Hurt Business. Except most of those guys have some sort of MMA background or shoot wrestling background, except for
I thought you were going to say or wrestling talent
or shoot wrestling background. No, I didn't know that. Calm down. But you know, except for MVP. But I don't know. We could. I mean, MVP's been in jail, so I guess that gives him some more credibility.
Okay.
Sure.
I think he trains a little bit. I don't think he's like officially like a fighter, but I think he might train a little bit.
He might. But it didn't work out very well for poor Titus.
No.
But although when I'm watching this, I'm going, did they just jump him in? Did they jump him in, Smart?
I feel like we're really tiptoeing around certain potential landmines, and
what I'm just saying.
Going to go. Well, I mean, potentially is what I'll say. I guess this could potentially go very wrong.
How's it going on? I think they might have jumped him in. Is all I'm saying.
Titus looks like he fits with them. Like, oh, how so?
Well. The suit.
No, I'm fucking around. No, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think he's going to be a member, but I think they just need somebody to fill that role that they've been doing with like Ricochet and fucking Cedric Alexander, of just somebody that tries to feud with them and they just beat them up every week.
I don't need to see Titus in the ring.
No, me neither, but it's probably going to happen.
Again, I think that guy is an incredible ambassador for that company. But let's leave it at that. I think he's an incredible as an ambassador for that company. He doesn't need to be in the ring at all. Not one bit. You over there trying to make shit fucked up. Fuck you. Shut up, man.
My gotcha journalism.
Yeah, that didn't work. Or did it? I don't know.
We'll let the people decide.
I still think they jumped him in.
I mean, I might have to fucking admit that I'm wrong next week, but we'll see.
I don't know. I'm probably wrong. I'm bullshitting. Anyway, let's get to this Otis thing. We have Miz and Morrison come down. Tucker's supposed to get a partner for the match that happened. It didn't really. They did a thing before. Who cares? We don't need the backstory. Tucker comes out, introduces his new partner, El Grand Gordo, which is obviously Otis. He kept having to force himself to stop doing the Otis moves. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that was a good touch.
Yeah. He kept starting to and then stopping and then starting and then stopping. And then finally at the end, he let it rip. But this, how did El Gran Gordo get drafted to kick? Okay.
I guess technically he's a free agent.
Whoa. Did they sign a guy named El Gordo Grande? Is what you're telling me?
I wouldn't be surprised. Although, I mean, I think the only thing that like would potentially jeopardize that as a theory is that anytime they sign anybody from Mexico, they almost automatically demand that they take off their mask.
Yeah, this makes no sense, but I get what they're doing.
What if they just really fucking ran with this, and then like next thing you know, he's on NXT with the fucking Phantasmo stable. El Legado del Phantasmo, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, but he just has him just fucking hanging out.
Oh God, he reminded me of the disgusting blob from Billy Madison.
Yeah, that's one too. Yeah.
Well, was that his name? The disgusting blob. Yeah.
The revolting blob.
The revolting blob. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir. That's what he reminded me of a little bit. But
I will say though, for a man his size, he pulls off pink surprisingly well.
Okay. You can. That's fine. But yeah, obviously it was Tucker.
Nice sandbag.
It was Tucker and Otis. Man, I gotta tell you, to me, once again, Miz and Morrison are the most. They're so annoying, and they're not like not good annoying. Not this is they're just heels. It's like Miz is trying too hard at this character, and Morrison is Morrison. He's not the greatest. He's great in the ring. He can do flippity doobie doos, but that's it. And like I said, I think Miz is trying too hard at this character. It's just not. It doesn't sit with me. Sorry.
Like I said, the male version of the Iconics, basically. Like they're just, and it doesn't make any sense because they both can be good heels. Like Miz more so, but I was a fan of John Morrison when he was doing the Lucha Underground. He was doing like the Worldwide Underground stable, and like he was just fucking. They play the air guitar and they'd like pipe in the actual guitar riffs or edit in on Lucha Underground. That was a lot of fun. I like that. But yeah, it has not been working. Like it's very much a change the channel heat. I'm just like, I don't want to fucking see these guys, and I like both of these guys, but you're making me not like both of these guys.
There you go. That's kind of what it is. It's like, look, I've fucking defended Miz many times. In my opinion, the guy will end up being, whether you know it or not, he's going to be a fucking legend in the business. But this character just doesn't click with me. I should, especially like I've said before, right before they started this shit, he was doing the whole with Daniel Bryan. We're dads, man. You know, we're just a couple of dads.
Which I don't think we're going to address this in great detail, but I did fucking get a nice little pop out of the fucking character. I'm trying to I can't remember now. Oh, Ramblin' Rabbit admitting that he had a family.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, I got a wife and kids at home. I'm like, oh, fucking thank you. Whoever wrote that is like kind of getting real meta here.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Why didn't you ever tell me? You never asked. Oh, that was good shit. Yeah, that was wonderful. Yeah. You know what? Fuck Miz and Morrison. Let's go on to that. Actually, that's the next scene anyway that I had the note for was the fun house. We did, like you just said, we did find out he has a family, Ramblin' Rabbit. But Alexa came in tonight, and that's kind of strange. But again, they're really putting these two together, obviously. And I don't know. It's funny. I forget. I sent myself the picture, but it didn't show up in my email. There was a point where Alexa dressed up just like an old doll that what's his name? Bray Wyatt had debuted back in about a year ago. So I don't know. Again, he gives you hints of shit that's going to happen if you keep watching all those things. But I don't know, man. It was just weird seeing Alexa pop in there, and I guess she's really being like I said, she's really becoming just a part of this. I don't think they're going to make her Sister Abigail. I really don't. They're not going to call her that. But she's definitely in some sort of trance, if you will.
Did you catch the kind of, I don't want to call it a shot because that makes it way over dramatic. I would say it's like a reference, a little bit of a joke of he's unpacking all of his boxes and he pulls out a black sheep mask and he just kind of chuckles and throws it off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was of course, the mask that old Harper wore when he was there.
Yep. Yeah, I did see that. And he pulled out one of the thing. It looked like a Undertaker thing. I don't know what that was. And he went, "Oh yeah," and then he threw it down. So, good shit there. But yeah, Alexa showing up again, obviously, really putting her into the storyline, really injecting her. So that's fine.
I'd like to really inject her.
Oh, little hot beef injection. Know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
That wasn't actually subtle at all. But anyway.
Right.
Shit. Anyway, after that whole little segment there, we had the Keith Lee Braun Strowman match. We had Flair on the screen again tonight, but we also had JBL on the screen again. I kind of like that they're doing this, putting the legends on the screen for a match or two. There's no reason not to. Yeah. JBL was probably calling from his lovely compound in Bermuda to avoid U.S. taxes. What?
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
No, he's admitted that's why he lives there, dude. I'm not saying anything he hasn't said.
Hey, I mean, God bless him.
Yeah, I believe he actually says he has a compound in Bermuda. Good for him, man. Shit. Wouldn't mind living in Bermuda, fishing every fucking day. Love that shit. But yeah, that was I liked the match. I liked that at the end of it we had Keith Lee grabbing Strowman by the beard and talking shit to him. You tangled with the wrong guy, with the wrong one, I think he said. But good shit, man. You don't see Braun Strowman get kind of manhandled like that, but if you're gonna do it, Keith Lee is a guy that should be doing it.
Right. Well, yeah, because like during the match we had Keith Lee went to pick him up for like a pile driver or maybe a powerbomb or whatever, and he kind of did that thing where he like slams his head up, so he kind of got him right in the old groin.
Yeah.
Kind of like an homage to the whole feud he had with Roman and all that. And then Keith Lee ended up getting him back because he like spun him around and he gave him the old Bobby Hill where he was like, well, the timing of this didn't work.
Yes, you cut out for a second there.
Yeah, so he hit him with the old Bobby Hill, that's my purse, which I fucking specifically tried to cut and edit and have ready, and then it didn't work when I hit play. So
yeah, you gotta
take an L on that one. Anyways, but yeah, it was all right match.
Yeah, you got to hit that share sound button or something, man. Anyway, but yeah, good match. Monster, there you go. Antox is Monster Meat Dragon. All right, there you go. I liked it. I did like that match though. That's the match that should have Big E, and therefore with his meat to meat shirt on. But anyway, after that match, my last note here is Boring Randy came back tonight to cut a promo in the middle of the cage.
Like how you say that, like that's one of his alter egos.
It is.
Like, you get Boring Randy tonight, motherfuckers. Like that's a heel tactic. He purposely cuts bad promos.
It is absolutely. And I don't know why, but that cage, that Hell in a Cell reminds me of a fucking Happy Meal.
It's very,
childish.
It's like
it's childish, dude. It's fucking childish. It's red. It just doesn't look.
It's not as cool as the Big Blue cage.
Oh, fuck the blue cage. But
You're on that side of the debate, huh?
hey.
Stealing other people's bits.
Don't go all IYH on me here. Check out In Your Head, by the way.
That's really what I thought about, though, because we were talking, there was a debate of whether or not the big blue cage looked childish, and I was like, this fucking red cage looks awful for sure.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you right now, the red cage looks worse than the blue cage. Honestly, 100% honestly, I think this red cage is worse. And I understand, Antox, that red cage was modeled to be okay, we can make these toys. They're probably cheap. You know, just make it all red. But it just doesn't, I don't like it. Nah.
But that's like that kind of perfect. Words are hard sometimes.
Wow.
That perfectly encompasses. I can say encompass, but I can't say perfectly. Perfectly encompasses like the problem with them is that like they make their show for children, but the people that watch or like their big demographic is primarily people that are 50 or older.
Right.
Like, that is who the bulk of what it is that are watching the program is.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And Antox has been around for 2 years, and you're right. I think I shit on it last year too. It's just not appealing. And I'll tell you what, when they
everybody loved that Hell in the Cell from last year, huh?
Oh yeah, everyone did. And again, they complained about that fucking cage being distracting. Your eyes just focus on the wrong spots. It's just not good. It's just not fucking good. But whatever, they're gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna make their little toy cages, and that's it. I thought that was a pretty shitty promo. Believe it or not, Randy's been doing great lately, but
I didn't mind it. Like I like the idea of him just putting over the fact that for anybody else, it's this big match that has like physical, long-standing impact on their career and their psyche and their body. But he's done it so many times that he's comfortable, and that's how he likes it. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I didn't think, but I mean, yeah, maybe a little boring.
Yeah, wah. And then Drew comes down and he has bolt cutters.
And then he uses the bolt cutters. So Randy Orton sees that he has bolt cutters, grabs a chair. Drew uses the bolt cutters and then throws them to the side. Why? I understand that you can't have somebody like attempt to murder someone on television, but there was no fight. Like it was just them standing there and then they went off the air. Why not just keep the bolt cutters?
Well, here's the thing. When the bolt cutters came out, that was when my DVR cut off.
You literally missed nothing. He opened the cage, stepped into the cage, Orton raised the chair up, and then they went to black.
Oh, great. Okay, I missed nothing. Awesome.
So there was no physical interaction whatsoever, honestly.
Awesome. I'm glad I missed nothing. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
I mean, that could be the summary of Raw, honestly. You missed nothing.
You missed nothing. All right, so there we go. That was, I guess that's Raw then.
Sure was.
So there we go. I guess we can get the news from there. Right? There we go. Here we go. That's what we're going to do. Let's start off with this little thing right here. Miro, obviously formerly Rusev, revealed on his stream, his Twitch stream, that AEW was unable to sign Benjamin Carter, and he has signed with WWE. He said, "This kid impressed the hell out of me and reminded me of a young AJ Styles with appearances on AEW. Unfortunately, AEW wasn't able to sign him, but huge get for NXT and WWE." This had not been announced yet. Why? Look,
as I said while we were talking about it, bit of a dick move.
A bit of a dick move. I get that he's got a little chip on his shoulder for WWE. I get it. I understand. But, dude, focus on your future.
Mm-hmm.
And forget trying to do shit like this right here. This is not what you need to be doing. You don't need to be telling people that people signed. No one needs to know that shit, man. Don't put people's business out there if they don't want you to. Not right to me, man. Not
also,
right.
Kind of like he works for AEW. So, like, it kind of makes AEW look, you're kind of making your own company look bad when you're like, you know, you're putting it out there that he signed with WWE and it's like, hey, wasn't he working for you guys? Like, what happened with that? Like, obviously, he wasn't there full contract. It was like a trial basis, but still kind of makes him look a little bit bad.
Oh, I mean, this isn't the first person AEW's picked, or I'm sorry, WWE has picked up that AEW had a chance to. Mercedes Martinez is probably the best example. They had a chance, and they didn't do it. Fucking stupid.
Sure.
Fucking stupid. Now WWE's got her, and she's, being bounced around a little bit, but
getting lost in the shuffle.
Lost in the shuffle, but she'll find her way. She's talented enough to definitely do it.
I hope so.
I think she'll eventually find her way. I'm really not that worried about it. Mike Johnson of PW Insider, though, kind of gave us some topics for season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring. This is some things that he's saying are going to happen. Grizzly Smith and his children, which would be Jake the Snake Roberts, Rockin' Robin, and Sam Houston. We talked a little bit about him on the last Hollywood Hangout when we did Beyond the Mat. So that'll be interesting to see that. WCW, NJPW, Collision in Korea. That'll be interesting because that didn't go so well.
Definitely.
That didn't go so well. Life and Death of Brian.
And there's not a lot there's not a lot of information out there. Like, it's a little bit of a mystery to a lot of people. So it'd be kind of cool to see them shed more light on that.
Yeah, and Antox is saying there's going to be 14 episodes. So this is just a little taste of what we know right now. The Life and Death of Brian Pillman, which has been confirmed by Eric Bischoff, that will be one that we'll probably definitely go over. And in an interview with Fightful, David Arquette mentioned that they were going to be doing one with Nick Gage, somewhere involving Nick Gage. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually going to surprisingly be kind of uplifting, I think. It's going to be one of those, feel-good stories, I think, versus the other things that we talked about that could potentially be very hard to watch.
Well, I mean, Nick Gage's past is very dark.
Sure.
So if they actually did one on Nick Gage, not just involving Nick Gage, it would definitely, look, he did have a dark past, and he has come out of it. And I know a lot of people always shit on him for being kind of a positive guy now, but I'm sorry, I can't shit on a guy for trying to fucking change his life and being a positive person. Sasha Baron, so I can't shit on a guy for that, man. It just doesn't feel right to me.
Fucking love you, motherfuckers, and I know I fucking say that every fucking show, but I fucking mean it. Fucking love you, MGK all fucking day. That's pretty much how he talks. I know that sounded very stereotypical, but it's not that far off.
That's great. And you know what? I know, fucking that ain't the Nick Gage I remember. Great. I don't think he wants to be the Nick Gage he remembers either.
Yeah, no, it didn't work out too well for him.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it'd be a really good story, I think.
I think so too. I do. I really think so too. But that's just a little taste, if you will. So definitely looking forward to seeing a few of those. Like I said, that Brian Pillman one, we'll definitely get into that one. That's one I definitely want to watch.
Because they must have to talk to Junior, yeah.
I would think so.
That's one of those people that you would have to put money on, or you'd at least expect to be there. And he doesn't really talk a super lot about it. He doesn't shy away from it, but he also doesn't, talk about it every chance he gets. So
exactly.
it'll be interesting to kind of hear what he has to say about everything.
Yeah, it will. It'll definitely be interesting to see what he's got to say on that little thing right there. Next little thing I've got to talk about is Mickie James. Mickie James was in Women's Fitness magazine this month. She actually posted a little thing on her Facebook and Instagram and a few things about it. But she thanked them for having the feature and showed some photos, which I just posted in the chat room. Smart, did you get to check out those photos?
I have seen a couple of them, yes. I would recommend everyone take a look themselves.
I should have gotten the audio of the guy from American Pie chanting MILF. Mickie James looks amazing in these pictures. Absolutely gorgeous in these pictures, man. Great body, and I mean, just unbelievable. But she definitely had a little spread, if you will, in Women's Fitness Magazine. So check it out if you want to. But
yeah, I mean that she's pretty impressive. Like, she has a really good longevity in terms of just how well she looks and how well she's been able to perform. Like, just on all kind of tangible levels, she's been consistent, and it's been fun to watch in every possible way you could imagine me meaning that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But good for her, man, getting that little spread in there. And like I said, these pictures she looks amazing in these pictures, just fucking ripped. But anyway, let's just move on. AEW. Usually on Fridays, we kind of talk about the AEW, NXT. We kind of get into the ratings a little bit. We don't really break them down, but we kind of just tell you them a little bit when we see them. Interesting. AEW is not only overtaking NXT in the United States, AEW is overtaking WWE as a whole in UK. I mean, really, really beating WWE. One staggering fact, Cody was tweeting about this a little while ago, but one staggering fact that came out of this was AEW Dynamite. Their audience is over five times that of NXT in the UK, and it is double SmackDown and almost double of Raw. Now, again, WWE had changed over who they were with in the UK. If you remember, we talked about that a while ago. AEW is on a channel called ITV over there, and obviously doing fucking amazing. I'll tell you, we think that they have an advantage over here, but to hear that they have an advantage like that over there with WWE having NXT UK, I think says a lot. AEW is making fucking waves, man, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this kind of proves it. Go ahead, Smart.
Oh, no, I was going to say, sure, yeah. And it's like, what's kind of interesting about it is right now, they don't really have, like, a lot of their talent that is European or British or however you want to put it. Like, Pac has still been stuck overseas. He hasn't managed to get over to the U.S., so he hasn't been on their television show for a while. So it's not even like they have somebody that's, like, kind of a, fellow countryman that they could kind of rally behind. You might want to point to that as being the reason why they're doing so well. I mean, they're really kind of just strictly their product is what is doing them such great numbers. And it's cool to see that. And it's really been interesting to see WWE try to push into other countries and to see the kind of pushback they've gotten. And I don't say this as somebody that's just trying to shit on them and trying to be a WWE hater or whatever, but I am really glad that they're kind of not being able to monopolize even internationally and be able to go like set up to the point where it's like they end up taking over in UK, in Japan, in Mexico, like they had hoped. Because I don't think any one company, WWE, AEW, New Japan, regardless of who it is, the idea of them having like the market share and having the monopoly in every single country is not anything good for anyone if you enjoy wrestling outside of just one or two companies.
Yeah, I mean, the only guy I can think that they could even get behind would be right now is Kip Sabian. Isn't he? I mean, he's the only UK guy they have on that show right now that I can think of.
Sure. And I mean, we did talk about Benjamin Carter. He was on there a little bit. But
right.
I think, there was no real, like, person that had a prominent role outside, like you said, Kip Sabian was there.
Yeah, that's really the only guy. So the fact that they're doing so good overseas is, again, another telltale sign that they are really fucking making fucking waves and really making it, pardon the pun, but they're making a fucking impact all over the place. And yes, weebs, Chris Sabian, the negotiator. I remember that. Good shit right there. Good movie. Jake Hager making a little dig at Stephanie McMahon when Stephanie was touting a little kind of an award that they got for Corporation of the Year. Stephanie McMahon said on a tweet, "So proud of the @WWE community team and all of their hard work to make @WWE the 2020 Corporation of the Year at this year's @PR News, CSR, and Nonprofit Awards. WWE's mission is to put smiles on faces, and it could," and that's where it stopped. This is just a picture. I got it off Facebook, sorry. Jake Hager, though, decided to come back and say something about that. And he said, LMAO, laughing my ass off. "I guess lying about over $37 million in quarterly profits so you can fire over 300 people during a worldwide pandemic is a category for an award." At Andrew Yang. He even tagged Andrew Yang in this. Wow. He's saying that they cook their books, basically.
I mean, fucking microphone drop, I guess, huh? I mean, he just really went in on them. Like, whether or not it's true that they are cooking their books, like the whole, I think he's the first talent that I've seen that's kind of brought up just how many people that they fired during this, and then how they were kind of giving themselves the old Horowitz pat on the back for how much they brought in and how good they're doing as a business. And we've talked ad nauseum about how kind of fucked up it is, or at least how fucked up I feel that it is that they're doing, that they did that.
Yeah, definitely. Now, it would be extremely hard for them to lie about the profits they make, being they are a publicly traded company. They have more people to answer to than just, just Vince and the family. Sasha Baron Corbin says he sounds bitter. You think? A little? Yeah. A little bitter? A little bitter. Yeah. Again, I don't think, and they didn't fire over 300 people, did they? I don't think they did.
I don't know like what the time range is he just talking about specifically at the beginning of the year, because I know they did fire a lot of people. I don't know the number of how many people that weren't just performers that they fired, because they fired a lot of just performers. I don't think that's the exact number, but I really wouldn't be surprised.
I think he added a 0, to be honest. But the fact that he tagged Andrew Yang is kind of strange. Again, Andrew Yang ran for president, didn't make it to the primaries. Why is he tagging him? What is he really going to do? Does he, go ahead. Again, does he think he's going to investigate WWE for this? He's not a fucking cop. He's not a fucking, he's not part of the FEC or anything. What the fuck? Weird. Maybe he's part of the Yang gang. I get it. He's a ganger.
And maybe he wants a couple of easy retweets. Yeah, that is kind of funny though, because we're making assumptions. I'm definitely making assumptions. I'll just admit that Jake Hager doesn't strike me as the kind of person that would be a Yang supporter, based on kind of what I know about him. But then again, I was also the same person that said he doesn't strike me as a hip hop fan, and he's proved me wrong. So there you go.
Yeah, he does strike me as a Trump supporter. Constable Soborin says, I don't think he meant cooking the books. I think he was referring to them making the excuse that all firings were so they could be profitable. I could see that too. Again, I think he's adding a 0 to the amount of people that he put in there. And again, I do know Andrew Yang called out WWE with the social media platforms. We actually talked about that on the show. Constable Soborin once again. Look at that. We have Sasha Baron Corbin and Constable Soborin. I love it. Contrasting that they should be fighting in the chat. But
that's going to do real problems for my dyslexia.
Oh, yeah. It is a little tough to see him, especially after a few beers and a few shots. But yeah, I do get that. And I do get that might be where he's going, but I don't know. He's kind of, again, he's saying no matter what you look here, when you say you're lying about your your profits, you're cooking the books. No matter what you get down to, that's where it goes right there. You're cooking the books. But
also kind of like it's a bold thing to say, but you're also kind of like opening yourself up to potential litigation. Because if you're making a claim that is not true on a very high level, high scale, like that's kind of a pretty big accusation. Like, I think it's funny, but I also don't have to deal with the consequences. So, like, that's kind of a ballsy move.
Yeah. I mean, ballsy move, definitely. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. There's not going to be any investigations. Andrew Yang ain't doing shit. He ain't a fucking cop. He's not an attorney general. He can't do shit.
Interestingly enough, as you have put him over as you're obviously a big fan of his based on the context.
I like the guy. I'm not going to lie. He's a likable son of a bitch. I can't fucking deny it. He's skateboarding around his office and shit. I like the fucking guy. He's fucking likable. I ain't going to lie.
Doing the Bart man.
But
he's I don't really have any big takeaways from this. I can pull up a little bit of Jericho talking about the travel schedule or whatever, WWE versus AEW, but Andrew Yang was actually on the Chris Jericho podcast today.
Oh.
Which is interesting because, as the internet has decided, Jericho is a strident Trump supporter.
Again, I don't believe that. I think
I don't either, but I just had to say the internet. But yeah, that was interesting. He talked. They were like talking about the whole, what Yang's normally been talking about with the whole like, independent contractor shit. And Jericho was talking about his experience. Basically, what he was saying that was kind of interesting was they basically just pay for your airplane ticket, and then it's like it's on you what you do in terms of like hotels and shit like that. We get a little bit more detailed here in a second, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it. I was just reading a little bit of some excerpts, but I think it would definitely be something worth checking out.
Yeah, I might do that. But speaking of podcasts, tomorrow Big E will be on Corey Graves' After the Bell, so that's probably going to be a good listen right there. Again, Big E, great personality, great, tons of fucking charisma. Kind of want to hear what he has to say. I'm not going to say I'm going to subscribe, but I'll get this episode. And maybe we'll talk about that while we're doing the pay-per-view Sunday. I'm looking at this Jericho thing that it's a lot of reading.
But he also said real quick while you're transitioning into that is he says that he has no intentions of ever going anywhere ever again. He likes AEW and he likes working for the Khan family, which who knows? But that does seem like it seems to be true at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Tony Khan seems to be that kind of cool guy that he's a bit of a mark, but
he's a weird position.
Yeah.
He is a bit of a mark, but at the same time, he's also like rich, so he's not going to let people like fuck him over. So it's a weird position to be in, or he's sort of a weird sort of hybrid of like a money mark, but not a pushover, which is maybe what you need to run a company these days.
Yeah, I can see that. Might be. I don't know. But let's move on. Then we got one more after this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking tired. But Jericho talked a little bit on sat down with Chris Van Vliet and talked a little bit about which AEW stars. It's kind of weird to call them stars after only a year of being out there. Which AEW talent, let's do that, were initially considered for the inner circle. He talks a lot here about it, but I'm going to kind of scroll down a little bit and get into the kind of get right into the meat of it. He said, so I think the original tag team, he wanted a tag team with him. One of the ideas was banding around, it might have been by me, was Phoenix and Pentagon. And then I thought, I don't want gimmick guys, mask guys, Jericho recalled. And then Santana and Ortiz came up, and I was like, I know them from the cruise. because they were on the first cruise, which is, I think there's only been one so far. But I really, right? Yeah, only one so far. Yeah.
There's been two.
Oh, okay, there had been two. You're right. I forgot.
There was the one that happened before, and then there was one that they basically televised on Dynamite.
Yes, you're correct. You're correct. There you go. I forgot about that one. And then he was like, I know them from the cruise, but I don't really know much about them. But the Bucks were saying how good they were on the first cruise. I said, okay, let's throw those guys in there. And then I wanted MJF. See where this is going?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. See how this rolls back to tonight? Right there. He wanted MJF, but Cody wanted to do a little thing with him. Obviously, this goes back to when Cody was doing these things with MJF. He says, well, how about Sammy Guevara? Because I scouted Sammy and brought him to the table. I never met him before in my life. I just watched him on an NWA pay-per-view that Cody was wrestling Nick Aldis, and I saw him. I was like, this guy's good. And he's miscast as a babyface. He just looks like an asshole. So Sammy, yeah, there you go. So Sammy, that's cool. And then for the heater, there's a guy called Anthony Ogogo, which is a boxer. And they were suggesting him, and I was like, I don't want that because I had that in WWE a couple of times. They gave me heaters. They were smaller than me, of the same size. I want a big guy. And I did kickboxing training. Hadn't spoke to him in years, but I was kickboxing with the same trainer as Jake Hager was getting ready for his Bellator fights. And I just started talking to him like, are you interested in coming back? He's like, I'd love to. And I pitched it to Tony. And I said, this is the guy I want. I've always been a big fan of his. I wanted him to be my heater back in WWE, but they just miscast him. They don't know what to do. No, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do with a 6'6", good-looking blonde guy who can work and had a character that can talk in the right circumstances. What the fuck? But that's fine, and so we got him involved. So Jericho brought Sammy to the table and got Hager there.
Right on, yeah. It seems like, I mean, obviously we're not saying anything new here, but Jericho obviously has a really good mind for that kind of a thing. And it's a little bit disappointing when you read it and you start to think about like what could have been, because obviously like I would have loved to have seen Pentagon and Phoenix be in the inner circle, but at the same time, if we were going one for one, apples to apples on that, if they were just taking the position that Santana and Ortiz have right now, they have a little bit of a tendency to get lost in the shuffle too sometimes. So it's not like it would have been a huge deal for their careers either way, I guess. But it's a little bit of a bummer, and I guess we're still going to end up getting it, obviously, as we saw that like Cody kind of cock-blocked him. He's like, oh, no, I got big Cody plans for him. And he's like, ugh. Which, I mean, they ended up having a good feud, so it ended up, I guess, being the right call to make, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the long run, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of glad now, because we see the run that the Lucha Brothers are having with Eddie Kingston. Yeah. So, in the long run, I guess this is actually a kind of a blessing in disguise. Sure. That he didn't get the Lucha Brothers, but, you know, Pentagon and Phoenix. But,
plus, I guess it kind of makes it fun that we're seeing MJF be introduced into the group versus him just being there at day one, kind of a rollout, where it's like, all right, this is a cool group, but then, like, we would have already been used to it by now. It would have almost been kind of, not boring, but it would have gotten a little bit stale, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
and
it's a fun little addition.
Yeah, and I'm looking up on Anthony Ogogo. I didn't know who he was, but I guess it says he's actually signed to All Elite Wrestling. According to what I'm looking at here on AEW, on Google. Anthony Ojo Ogogo is an English professional wrestler and former professional boxer, currently signed to All Elite Wrestling as their first developmental wrestler. As a boxer, he competed from 2013 to 2016 as a professional and won a bronze medal in the middleweight division at the 2012 Olympics as an amateur. So I guess he's one of the guys in that, what is it, the Nightmare School or whatever that they've got going?
Yeah. Nightmare Factory?
So, nice. He is their first kind of student. So, Jericho mentions him, and they've got him working down there. So, I guess we'll see what happens with him in the long run. But I've only got one more little story. I don't know if you've got anything else, Smart. I think you did have one more, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I'm going to do two real quick ones here. First of which being, and I haven't heard the audio yet, so this is a little bit of a gamble on whether or not it'll be good, but I trust the person involved. Terry Funk is on Twitter now. The actual Terry Funk. And apparently he put out a little video message, and it's only 20 seconds, so if it sucks, just go do something else, I guess. But he put out a little Twitter message to kind of had some words, I guess, for the impersonators, the impostors, if you will. So let's get into that, I guess.
Well, did you post that?
I will post that.
Yeah, go ahead. Then I can play the video through here because then it comes through to everybody.
Coming through quite as well. So I'll go ahead and post that. Yeah, so Terry Funk's on Twitter. In the meantime, if we want to talk about that, Bret Hart had some words to say about Jake the Snake. And I had sent you that on Messenger here. But I'll dig that up as well. But Bret Hart on Jake the Snake Roberts, quote, Jake, who never went to the gym, if he did go to the gym, he might do a set and then go smoke a cigarette outside. He was not a tough guy, was not a legitimate athlete. He was strictly a promo, and he was a great worker, a great pretend wrestler. Which is a very interesting quote coming from Bret Hart, who, as far as I know, had no legitimate fighting background.
Well, it's still real to Bret, number one. Number two, Bret Hart is a piece of shit. Number three, Bret Hart's a dick. Number three, if you give me Bret Hart or Jake the Snake, I'm taking Jake the Snake. As workers, performers, promos, everything, I would take Jake the Snake all day, every day over Bret Hart. Personally. Mm-hmm. That's what I got to fucking say. What do you got to fucking say, Smark?
Well, I mean, they both have points.
Well, tell me about it.
I guess what had started all of this was that Jake Roberts had gone on and say basically they're asking him about why he never won the world title. And he basically it was the Piper defense of, well, I never really needed it. And what he said in his words were, quote, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, those chumps needed titles. Robert elaborated, saying no one would pay attention to them when they were in their respective tag teams. He said Michaels and Hart were the worst world champions. Check the books, Robert says. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were the worst champions of all. They did not put money in the bank. Robert's gone to say Stone Cold was the best world champion and says to be a good world champion, you have to have the mythical it factor. Roberts says Hulk Hogan had, quote, it too. He admitted Michaels had the it factor that Bret Hart didn't have, but that both were too small in stature to be believable stars. Then he goes on to say, could you see Shawn Michaels facing Andre the Giant? Like, no, because he was dead. But anyways.
Dead. Yeah. I'm, the only...
Which is such a shitty barometer.
Yeah. Now, I get the Bret Hart one, but Shawn Michaels, I'm not sure if you looked that up that he wasn't a draw, to be honest with you. I don't know. You might want to look that one up because I think he might have been a draw.
I do like the idea of Jake just like putting on these little reading glasses and just kind of poring over the numbers before he says it. Like, no, I've been looking at the books. Check them out.
The books. Oh, well, Jim Cornette has the books. So that's all I have. We all know that.
Again, that is just such a weird fucking barometer. Because if you look at it, like, when Savage was champion, he didn't have a feud with fucking Andre. Like, who other than Hogan really had a feud with Andre when they were the champion? And then comparatively speaking, like, when Stone Cold and The Rock were champion, like, they weren't having feuds with the Big Show. Like they'd have like a one-off match every so often. The Rock had a feud like at the Royal Rumble or whatever after the Royal Rumble with the Big Show, but I don't think he was champion at the time. But like it's like that's a really weird way to gauge that.
Yeah, a little bit. Jake, as Jake Hager, another Jake that's a little bitter. Obviously. With bitter Jakes. A lot of bitter Jakes out there. But I don't know. And as much as I shit on Bret Hart, I personally wasn't a fan. I've never made that fucking, private. I've put that out there many times. But I'm not sure you could say he wasn't a draw either.
I gotta laugh because I'm reading this article a little bit more, and I will post it in the Mixler chat in just a moment here. But it says during the show, this is talking about Bret Hart responding to what Jake said. During the show, Hart wished to rebuke, quote, Jake Roberts', quote, stupid comment. And that just makes me laugh that he just specifically, my comment is stupid. He said, I take exception, Hart said. Jake Roberts is one of those guys who a few months ago said something about, he made a stupid comment about the two worst champions there had ever been, for Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and he made some reference that we didn't draw, which is always, I don't know if that's a fair view. If you look at any of the WrestleManias, WrestleMania 12, you can't tell me if you look at the crowd that I didn't draw. I mean, it was huge buy rates, and it was a packed arena. Even Wembley Stadium with the British Bulldog was over 80,000 fans there. And to try to throw out, hey, you never drew. I wrestled in front of 100,000 people in India for WWE in 1994. What a weird reference. We drew, but maybe in the United States, you could argue that I didn't draw in the way that Hulk Hogan drew, but I mean, who did? Who drew like Hulk Hogan did? It was a phenomenon in 1984 when WrestleMania had the whole sort of rebirth of pro wrestling happened, and the numbers that happened at the time were unprecedented. Yeah, fair enough, I guess, right?
I mean, I can't disagree with a lot of that he says there, to be honest with you. I really can't. That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah. I love Jake, but I think he's talking out his ass a little bit. You give me Bret Hart or Jake Roberts, I'm picking Jake Roberts every day. But Bret Hart has a point. He was a draw at one point. Shawn Michaels was definitely a draw at one point. I think, once again, if you really did check the books, air quotes, I think that might prove Jake wrong in this one.
I think he did about as well as he could, he being Bret, at the time that he was like the top guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, at the time that he was the top guy, the fucking Mantar was in the company. You could only do so much with fucking Skinner, Stalker.
Yeah.
Doink the Clown. Like, I mean, he didn't have a shitload of people that he could work with that were good.
No. And then he went to WCW, and we all know what happened over there. So, I don't know, man. I mean, his career was kind of cut short a little bit over there, so I don't know. But I do have that Terry Funk video pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
And here we
20 seconds. So
there it is, 20 seconds. Let's do it.
I am Terry Funk, and I am on Twitter, and I am I, and you are you. I don't want any impersonators.
There you go.
A little less animated than I thought it was going to be, admittedly.
But that is Terry Funk, 100%. You can definitely tell that. The voice, the look, the guy, the man. It is Terry Funk. Terry Funk on Twitter.
Right around election time. This should go well.
Yeah. I expect his account to be censored or suspended within. What do you give it? 8, 3, 4, 5 days. I'm gonna go 4 days.
I'll give it 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Okay. I have faith.
Well, the election's closure. I mean, the election's only a few weeks away.
You got a point.
Very close. Very close.
Less than 2 weeks. Should I kind of ruin that? A week and a half then?
Yeah, there you go. See, that's why I went 4 days. So there we go. Terry Funk on Twitter. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Of Terry Funk? Like, as a whole?
Not a fan of Terry Funk being on Twitter.
Terry
Funk.
Say, wow, that's a real confession.
No, love Terry Funk. Are you kidding? Roadhouse, dude. Fuck that.
I would have thought so, but I mean, you never know.
Fucking yeah, I love Terry Funk. I like Terry Funk. Badass motherfucker. And again, I put him over tons of times in the Beyond the Mat episode. But I guess this is kind of a weird thing. But you had one more thing to end on. Let's not end on Paige. Paige, though, put out a little picture, little thing celebrating 2 years of sobriety. I'm going to go ahead and post this. I'll post this in the old DSD also, in the old chat room there, mixer.com/dirtsheetdudes to join us in the chat. You guys definitely want to start doing that. And I'll post this real quick. She posted a couple pictures of her 2 years ago and her today. Definitely looks a lot better. She has a couple of enhancements done since then, but you can see her face is just a lot clearer. This picture of her on the left that she puts up is obviously, she looks drunk out of her mind, and in the one picture, but on the right, she looks great, man. I got to admit, she looks great. Now, not only her, but her brother, Roy, also posted a picture of him from 6 weeks ago where he looked like he was drugged out of his fucking mind. And he has been 6 weeks sober. So her story inspired him. And there you go. Two of the Knight family getting sober, cleaning up their lives. And you can't fault either one of them for it, man.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about this. I think we talked about this Friday, maybe, or maybe it was Wednesday. But we were talking about, like I had said before, they put her out there to do promotion for that movie that she had, I think right around that time when she was in the midst of her problems.
Yeah.
And like, they just shouldn't have, because I mean, it's kind of a joke. It's kind of funny, but you could clearly tell that she was fucking strung out. Like, she just pops out of nowhere like she's a fucking jack in the box. Paige here. It's like,
yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, nobody could have seen that and been like, yeah, this is good promotion for our movie.
Yeah, and she was still with Del Rio at the time, and just kind of, and not gonna lie, I think, again, I've said before, their relationship was so toxic, but I think he got her doing some things that she hadn't done before.
And it was another shitty situation because she was on Total Divas too.
Right.
So like this like legitimately non-staged, non-produced drama was happening in her life. She was going through this toxic relationship, and then they were shoving the cameras in her face and kind of trying to get her to play it up even more so for good ratings. And it's like, oh, this is not good for her as a person.
No, not at all. But glad she's doing better. 2 years sober for her, 6 weeks for her brother. Again, can't fault that. And I hope they keep it up, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you got?
I agree with that.
Yeah, what do you got?
Let's a couple of interesting things real quick here, and then we'll end it on one kind of just topic of conversation, I guess. As of today, for days as a champion as a whole, not one particular reign, but just a cumulative amount, Bayley has passed Charlotte Flair. That's who she is. I just hybrided them. Made a few old Sasha Flair. Envision that for a minute, if you will. Bayley has passed Charlotte Flair as in terms of total time spent as champion, total days. She's still quite a bit behind number one, which is Moolah, who had the belt for fucking forever and a half. But there you go. So that's interesting. And real quick here, Dave Meltzer on how to make wrestling mainstream again. Quote, "There is only one way a larger-than-life star has to emerge. No promoter can make one. It simply happens. If they could, there would always be one. There hasn't been one since Stone Cold Steve Austin retired and Dwayne left." Thoughts on that?
I can't say I disagree with any of that. You're right. I've said before, those guys were fucking one of a kind, man. You're not going to find another Stone Cold. You're not going to find another Rock. It's just not going to fucking happen. And right now, no, there's no guys that just have that it factor that you had mentioned, a little while ago. There aren't many guys that have it right now. They have this, they have that, but they don't have that. They don't have The Rock. They don't have Stone Cold because those guys are one of a kind, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They're just one of a kind. You're not going to find them again. You're never going to be able to recreate them. It's just never going to fucking happen, man. And the time is never going to happen again. The way fans thought about wrestling at that time is not going to happen again. The Attitude Era is just dead.
That's actually an interesting question that I hadn't even really considered. But I'll ask you again as a question. Like, do you think, and this wasn't really anything that you said necessarily, it was just something that I kind of thought about, what you said took my mind in this direction. Do you think nowadays, with everything that's going on with social media, and nowadays everybody is more in tune and in touch with what people are saying and what people are doing, like outside of wrestling, mainly speaking of the terms of like the whole speaking out movement and things like that, whenever somebody does something that's really kind of fucked up, it's definitely more publicized.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that kind of has a bit of a role to play in that?
Yes.
Because nowadays you can't just because honestly, if you look at Stone Cold's history, he's done some not so great things that people kind of just sweep under the rug. And I almost feel like some of that nowadays, where everybody kind of judges people a little bit more on the integrity of their character, is going to kind of be a detriment to building one of those big stars, because anybody who has potential ends up getting caught doing some dumb shit.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. Social media definitely has a lot to do with it, because no one can get as over as they were, because everyone's got their opinion, and that's fine. That's great. Everyone should have their opinion. I know, there are people out there that fucking hated Stone Cold, which baffles me, but whatever. That it was supposed to be like that. You're supposed to have people that hate this guy and love this guy, and hate heels and love baby faces, and love heels and hate baby faces. That's the way it is. But I think a lot of this, you're right. The social media now is definitely a problem with getting people over. And if they do one thing fucking wrong, man, one thing, you're always on camera. You're always being recorded. It's out there. And there's nothing you can do to fucking stop it.
Yeah, not definitely.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Everything is recorded. Everyone's got a camera in their pocket, in their purse, in their fanny pack. Whatever they have, they've got a fucking camera.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not like before, our phones have had, just regular cameras, but not video forever. So now
right.
That's why we're getting
to go live, and
no
matter what you're doing. Because
exactly.
you think about it, like if people back in the day would have had that opportunity, do you know how many fucking times somebody would have went on just all fucked up and just made a total fool of themselves?
Oh, would have been great.
Oh, definitely for us. Not so much for them.
Yeah. Would have been great.
A lot of fun to see what Scott Hall was getting up to.
Yeah. And then, you kind of go back to that Waffle House Jeff Hardy video.
Oof.
Yeah. Remember that?
Sadly, it was one of his best promos.
That was one of his best promos, and he was fucking lit out of his fucking mind.
You take painkillers and you're straight edge. What does that say about you, brother?
I know you've taken Ambien, CM Punk.
You're a liar.
You're a liar. He was total North Carolina in that one right there, man. He was total small town North Carolina in that video.
Meanwhile, he's rocking like the flannel and Dickies like he's a 1990s West Coast rapper.
Got the gauged out ears going on. But, yeah, man. Yeah. So, all right, what else?
I think that about covers it. I think that's pretty much all I had to talk about, unless you got anything else. I will say that I do think now that there's so many different opportunities with like YouTube and the network and all of that, just so many different styles that you can kind of watch and kind of take things from, kind of like how MJF's doing, I think. But there's going to be the opportunity with all that at everybody's disposal now, the younger people that are training and just getting into the business. At some point, we're going to get somebody that figures out how to, like, kind of make a quilt of some of the old things that got over and, you know, put some new sensibility into it and kind of become that big star, because I feel like we're due for one.
Yeah, but a lot of that stuff that got over back then, man, you just can't. To recreate it now would just be to water it down.
True. Yeah, it's going to have to be something else, because it was, like you said, it was the right time.
Right.
I mean, like, the biggest time period, in my opinion, was like the whole Attitude Era, but then that was when society as a whole, at least in the U.S., was more about the kind of trashy television and the more provocative, risque, edgy type of material and music, movies, television, video games, etc., etc., etc. It was a much different culture, and it was a culture that definitely benefited wrestling at the time, whereas nowadays, not so much.
Yeah, it was, I mean, wrestling was Jerry Springer.
Sure.
On, you know, Monday nights. And that's what made it great. And it was kind of the Jerry Springer era. That's exactly what you could call that, was the, you know, the 90s Jerry Springer era, where it was about raunch and filth, and we loved it. I mean,
sure did.
Yeah, and they were mostly actors on that show, which no one. I mean, Justin Roberts did an episode of that show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people have done episodes of that show. Jamie Dundee did two episodes, I believe, of Jerry Springer. They were all actors, and we bought into it, man. Hook, line, and sinker. A lot of us did, but that was the raunch, the filth. It didn't bother people. Now it bothers people.
Yep.
Now it bothers people. It's a completely different era. So to do anything from that Attitude Era would be so watered down.
Sure.
It would get shit on.
Yeah, they got to think of a different way to market themselves. I think that's been the biggest problem. I think when somebody figures that out, that's when we're going to see sort of the resurgence, the next big boom period.
Well, yeah, and I mean, listen, take the girls that were dancing on Raw Underground the first week.
Mm-hmm.
They were there how long?
Right up until Medusa started bitching.
Right up until the first week. They were there one fucking week and they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do it. You can't. That right there is proof you can't do it. You can't even have beautiful women dancing. Like,
funny you should say that, because now I'm kind of curious to see if there's going to be any blowback about the Omega entrance.
No, you never know. Well, might be. You never know.
It wasn't like straight up exploitive, but
no, and they were in one-piece outfits. They weren't in bikinis. Maybe that'll be the difference right there. But, dude, I mean, you can't even have beautiful girls dancing. Like, strip bars don't exist. I mean, they do. I know they do. Trust me, I know they do. You know they do. Sure. Everyone in the world knows they do. Women do dance provocatively. It's out there. People pay for it. Yet it can't be on Monday night television after 9 o'clock, which is when they can get a little more raunchy and do things that they do. It makes no, you just can't do it. You can't do it. That's proof right there that you cannot do anything from the Attitude Era, or even resembling Attitude Era.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I don't think doing that, like the Attitude Era stuff now, would work, obviously. But, you know, like we were talking about, you got to figure out a way to sort of adapt the new sensibilities to everything. And I think that's I think AEW is trying to do that a little bit with the whole Rusev and Kip Sabian thing. Or not Rusev, Miro now.
Yeah.
About kind of making them just like these hardcore gamers and like kind of integrating the fact that they're on Twitch into their gimmicks, which, I mean, depends on how you feel about that. Everybody feels differently, but they're kind of trying to add elements of modern culture into the wrestling landscape. That's kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah, they're like thrusting it into their shows as WWE is trying to fucking squash it.
Run as far away from it as possible.
Exactly. Yeah. So that shows you, you know, that that again shows you another thing where WWE is just not in touch with the fucking, younger crowd. Vince is still in the, we're not attitude era, but let's go back to the 60s. That's Vince. So, I don't know. But on that note right there, I have nothing else. I believe Smark has nothing else.
Nope.
But that's it. Like I said, attitude era is dead. We know it. We live it. And we still go back and watch this bullshit. But anyway, it is time to take your drunken ass home. There we go. And of course, you guys want to definitely not forget to check out the High Marks. That's Cheeseman, Mojo, and G Wiz over there. They are on the Metal Mitt Network. Mixer.com/Metal Mitt, 2 T's and Mitt Network. Check those guys out. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. There you go. Sunday nights. And, of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, you want to check those guys out, The Inhuman Experience. Check them out on all the usual podcast platforms. Unscripted Wrestling, you want to check those guys out right there. They are doing a non-wrestling show on Sunday. I will be on there talking cartoons. That's going to be a good time. I'll tell you that right now. Check them out on Blog Talk Radio, 8:30 p.m. or 8 o'clock p.m., I believe, Sunday nights. It's going to be a little earlier for that show, though. So, and, of course, Steve Milan. Appreciate you sharing the show. Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan. He's over there reviewing films. You definitely want to check him out. There's 2 L's in Milan. And, of course, for us, subscribe, rate, review, Stitcher, iHeart, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM. Check us out on YouTube. Everywhere else, Smart Let It Roll.
That's right. Of course, once again, Monday, 8:30, Cheese on Sports, Metal Mitt Podcast Network. And, of course, let us not forget to once again take a journey to visit our friends at the Planet Rack on Tour podcast. Planet Rack on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, with Young Nasty, with Papa Dave Sincere. What the fuck more could you ask for? Well, they're also going to be giving you the Halloween special just dropped yesterday, brand new, fresh off the presses. For all your Halloween needs, visit Planet Rack on Tour. They got you covered. Find them wherever you get your gosh darn podcasts.
There you go. Good. Glad you're watching your language finally. Anyway. All right, everybody. Time to fucking get out of here. And once again, we'll not be on Friday. We will see you guys Sunday for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I got shit to do on Friday. Just not going to be able to do the show. And we will see you guys Sunday for the pay-per-view. See you.
Adios.
If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunken ass home.